All right, should be live, coming live and direct. I'll just have a quick ease here. My first live stream. How's about that on the Felon Show? Tap in, everyone. Hope everyone's going well. Hope everyone's going swell in that. Yeah, should be coming live. Should be coming live. Hold up. So yeah, anyways, welcome to the Felon Show, fam. Hope everything's been going well. So yeah, I thought I'd just do a quick live stream. Tap in with you. Hope everyone's going well. I got a few guests on as well, so that's gonna be exciting, man. So you guys can interact a little bit. Got one of the dokos who's in Broadmeadows detention at the moment, so we'll have a little yarn on what's going on there. But yeah, hope all has been going well. So this is my first time doing this sort of live stream stuff. So I thought I'd let y'all know what's going on in this space. But I'm working on a little bit. J-Bone, I see ya. Nick Cook, I see you, brother. CJ. Yeah, crazy times we're in, isn't it? Crazy times. Kieran Timothy, much love, brother. Yeah, the brother Mooks, man. That's my homeboy. How is he? Mooks doing well? Heard his brother's locked up in that, but yeah, no Mooks well. That's the bro there. So yeah, got a couple brothers that's gonna jump on. Just wait for the views. Wait for y'all to couple more people to jump on here. Yeah, bro. Much love, J-Bone. I see you, brother. Yeah, this is new to me, this live streaming stuff. So yeah, Jaden, brother. What's up, man? See you, brother. Much love, tapping in from Taupo, man. Yeah, I grew up near there, or sort of near there in Tukoro. That's my hometown, my home base. So yeah, but I got a few things working here on the Felon Show. Got a couple projects in the lineup. Sort of gonna move away from doing interviews and that, even though I will still be doing that. But got a couple other stuff that I'm doing. Yeah, but yeah, I'll start letting the brothers in, and we'll have a good yarn. Yeah, Gotti, I see you, brother. Yeah, nah, I don't know the bro. I don't know him. I heard of him though. I heard of him. But yeah, I don't know. Kani Fun, what's good, brother? I see you. Kieran Brand, shot, brother. Shot for the love, man. Shot for everybody that shows love to the Felon Show, man. I saw love, man. I saw love. Don't worry about the trolls and all of that. They just got nothing better to do. They got nothing better to do than air raid on YouTube. Fuck, what a life. What a life jumping on a channel into air raid on here. Fuck. All right, man, I'll start letting the boys in. Got my brother here, Mark, man, jumping in. I'll just add him to the stream. I'm sort of new to this, so I think this is on yeah, spot on to J-Bone. Ain't no gangsters air raiding up here on Facebook, brother. And that's Mark right there, man. The big man. Can you hear me all right, brother?
What's good? I can hear you loud and clear, my docs.
Is your mic on?
Oh, that mic's not on. You can't hear me?
Or is it my end? Is that my end, brother? Or?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me? Yeah. I can't hear you. I can't hear you, docs.
Oh, real? It says it's not muted.
Sorry, Doko. Yeah, well, this is the big bro Mark here, man. Hopefully he'll get his audio. It wouldn't be my end, would it?
It says.
Can you guys hear Mark? Can you guys hear him? Let us know in the chat if you can hear Mark, because I can't hear him.
Oh, really?
Oh, they can hear you, but I can't hear you, docs. Oh, man.
Come on.
Oh, you know what it is? Hold up. Hold up. I'll just. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, docs, can you hear me?
Yeah, bro, loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Oh, that's us, bro. My bad. Forgive me.
What's good? What's
good, cuz? What's going down in Christchurch over there? Docs,
man,
how is it?
All's going well, bro. All's going well. This Corona stuff's just, same old. So
yeah, we're surviving, eh? We're surviving.
We're surviving, bro. Just gotta adjust and adapt to it, and
Yeah.
Nah, bro, all's good, bro. All is well, bro. Thank you for,
Nice,
allowing
man.
me
You're
to come
looking
on.
good, man. You're looking good. How's the training regime going?
Bro, very well, bro. I'm down 4 kilos. I'm off the drink. I've been off the drink for a month now. I'm going 3.5 months until my birthday. That's the first time I'm gonna have a drink. The longest I've got,
Nice.
longest I've gone is 2 months. So I just wanted to, challenge myself a little bit more. So April 15th is going to be my first drink. I'm down 4 kilos. That's my, I'm halfway to my goal. I want to get to 88. So I'm sitting around 92, brother. So.
Oh yeah, nah, you're looking good, brother. You're looking good, man. You can tell. You can tell.
Yeah, I can see you're getting shredded too, bro.
Nah, I'm trying, bro. Trying.
You're looking good as
we
well.
motivate each other. We motivate each other.
100%. That's what we're doing, bro, all day.
Yeah. Adam Tracy in the chat. Yeah, bro. I remember the brothers. Yeah, they were good mates of mine in Vic. So yeah. Well, how about I let some of the other brothers in here, man? So we got the other doko here, Joey Tangaloa, coming in from Broadmeadows Detention Centre. Yeah, we'll get him in here, and he'll talk a bit about what he's got going on. Joey, brother, can you hear me, brother?
Yes, I can hear you. All right.
Yeah,
How are you? All right, Mark? Nice to meet you, Mark.
Yeah, this is Mark here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Heard a lot about you, Mark. Heard a lot about you.
Bro, likewise.
Everyone's heard about Mark. Everyone's heard about Mark.
Man. Everyone's heard about the Felon Show, bro. I love seeing the growth, brother. So
yeah, how's it going, Joey, man? How's it going, brother? Oh well, look, I'll let the other brother in here too, man. So we got
let him in.
Yeah, we got Brent from the Clink coming in as well. We'll just let him in here.
Fucking
Brent.
Brent,
let's go.
Brent, Mark, how are you, brother?
It's only been 14 years.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, well, Joey.
Wow.
So Joey and Brett here are old friends back in the club days. So it's a bit of a reunion here. It's a bit of a.
I think it was a little bit more than friends, brother? A lot closer.
Yeah, a little bit more than friends, right?
A little bit more than friends. Don't worry about that. We were fucking rock solid.
100%.
Don't spill all the tea now. Don't spill all the tea.
How are you, Mark?
Good, brother. How are you?
Brother? You good? Yeah,
Very well, bro.
I'm all right, bro. Thank you for
asking. Nice. So how's it going, Brett, man?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I've literally just stepped out of a truck an hour ago. I drive B doubles for a living these days, so I took a B double from Friday afternoon from Brisbane up to Mackay, turned around, unloaded it, and smacked it back here just to get online to be on your show today with all you other mad lads.
Shishi, my brother, shishi.
So 2 seconds while I feed the pig because I'm fucking hungry and I need to.
Hey, what's in the bowl? What's in the bowl?
What's in
Not
the bowl?
What's in
your bowl today? All right. So what's in the bowl? A little bit of steamed rice. I can't eat much. I've had 3/4 of my gut cut out, but my wife makes the most amazing salt and pepper tofu, and I'm fucking addicted to it, hands down. It is, Mark. I know you probably can't get deep on salt and pepper in there, but
it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Open your mouth. Yeah, Mark.
Oh wow! How good! Looks tasty, brother. Looks tasty.
Yeah, it looks tasty. Stomach's rumbling.
That mouthful is for you, my bro. Right.
Well, how's it going with you, Joey, man? How's it going in detention centre there, brother? How's
Yeah,
it
man.
Man?
We're still fighting here. You know, we're trying to do a lot of things. Obviously, with Refugee Action Collective. We've organised a couple of protests, so there's been a lot of support from them. But basically, the whole idea of it is because 501s are really Aussies being kicked out of Australia. You know, but that's it. End of story. There's no ifs or buts about it. So what we're going to try and do is I'm trying to work with obviously organising a team of lawyers. What we need to do is change the law or amend it. You know what I mean? But what happens here is, so when you go before AAT, it all refers back to the law. So really, you're in a no-win situation. That's basically where we are. If you go before a judge at federal court, they refer back to the law. So what we need to do is we need to change these laws, and that's what we're trying to do. So there's a couple of things I'm working on at the moment. but that's the biggest thing is that we have to change this law. This is just, it's not right. It's inhumane what they're doing. Also, where else in the world do you get plucked out of you walk away from prison, you're a free man, and then the minister says, no, I'll grab you, and put you in detention. Yeah. Got a bit of an echo there.
Yeah, this is on me, boys.
But just, you know what I mean? Just things like that. Something's got to change.
Fuck, what's doing that, brother?
Brent, he's always fiddling with something, eh? He hasn't stopped.
Can you
He was fiddling with things back then, and he's still doing it now, you know?
Oh yeah, it was Brent, man. He was trying to play with you, mate. Fuck.
You know, that's where we're at. So, you know, God willing, everything we do, like I say to people, hey, you know what? We don't have money, we don't have this, but we got God on our side, you know?
Yeah, well, that's right,
that's
brother. You know, and we're batting for you from over here too, man. I mean, obviously, me and Mark are big advocates of the, you know, pushing against the 501 thing here. You know, I mean, Mark's done a lot, man. I swear, you know, even before I started the Fallon Show, you know, Mark's been bringing awareness and all of that to this for a little bit now, you know. So, and you know, being a reformed man himself, you know, like how was it for you, Mark, man, coming back here and all of that, brother? Or were you in detention center, brother? Were you in the detention centers, or you just come straight back, eh?
No, yeah, I decided to come straight back, bro. My sort of thinking around it was, I'd rather just come back here and fight it from here. At least I'll be free. At least I can get my get started again, if you know what I mean. Get back into work, get back into structure, sort of routine. I just seen going back to the detention center as just being in jail again, but you get, you know, access to a phone. That's how I sort of seen it. So yeah, I went straight from Parkley prison straight onto the plane, got on Macca's, and then come straight back. But to answer your question on how it was transitioning back into society, bro, I thought it was going to be easy for me because I had like a walk-up start. I had my missus come over with her mum and set up, get a house, get a car, had savings. Like I had that all, you know, set up for me, and still I found it challenging, bro. So for myself, I was thinking, man, what about the brothers that don't even have this? They're coming straight off a plane, you know, straight out from the cells and have nothing. So I could only imagine, you know, the hardships that most of the boys do face, because most of them end up in that situation, you know, come straight off the plane, straight to a new country. They haven't been here, just like Joey was saying. It's kicking New Zealand citizens, but really it's the Australian, you know, born and raised, or like pretty much raised in Australia, and Australia's just getting rid of the problem. Oh, you know, it's too hard. We'll just deport them. That's just the easy way, I reckon.
Well, it's just, it comes down to this as well, doesn't it, Joey? You know, it's the money thing as well, man. You know, everybody's getting paid, you know, $400,000 a detainee. I mean, there's no really pushing for the deportation now as well, because the crime rate ain't going down. You know what I mean? They can't say that the crime rate's going down. It's still rising. You know what I mean? Like,
because it's just money spin, you know.
How are you finding it in there, Joey? With how many boys are successful? Because I've heard a number of stories that they do beat it, and then you see them get, you know, put back in detention. What's the sort of numbers of boys winning their cases and staying in Australia?
Out of last year, there was a stat put up on the Saturday paper. Out of 950 something, I think it was 957, about 850 knockbacks. So really, it's you know what I mean. It's putrid, really.
Yeah, it's putrid, all right, brother.
You know, and to hold people here, like there's proof. Novak Djokovic was proof that you can fast track these cases.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yes. He's back on. He's back.
Yeah, we've got a few other brothers in the waiting room there too. I'll let the other brothers in soon. I'll let Joey finish and that. Well,
so basically, sorry, brother, to interrupt, but basically what I'm saying is we're products of Australia. I come here when I was 3 months old. I didn't learn any of this overseas. I learned all this here. I've had kids here, paid taxes here, got grandkids here. Everything we know is from Australia. How then can the government turn around? And that's what I'm saying. The law has to change. So we have to advocate for change of law. You know what I mean? Change this law, or abolish it, or amend it. So
Yeah, no, 100%, my brother, 100%.
Can I just jump in for a sec, Dave? How long have you been there, Joey? Now,
so I've been here now for 10 months.
where's your family, brother? All the kids, and where is everyone
all
now?
the kids are all my kids are here in Australia. I've got 11 kids, one in the cemetery, so 12 kids I got here. I even mentioned it to my lawyer. Should I mention in the court case? Do I have to dig up my daughter and take her home, her bones? You know what I mean? So
I find it very, very hard. Like you said, you know, if you've grown up here, basically your world's here. Everything you know is the Australian way, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, this whole thing around the 501s and how people are just so easily deported these days is just something that I find very hard to just to fathom, just to put it all together and understand it. And even hearing you talk about what you're trying to achieve and moving forward and getting voices heard, I suppose, is pretty well falling on deaf ears, is it not?
It is, but it isn't. When I say it isn't, so we've started a movement. There never has been a protest here for 501s. It's always been for refugees and that. So we've had 2 protests already. There's one tomorrow that I'm speaking at in the city, in Carlton.
How do you get out? Sorry, how do you get out to do this?
Oh, they just put the microphone on there, and there's hundreds of people around, and they just introduce you.
Oh, okay. So through this, like we're doing now. So
yeah.
There's no day release to go protest.
No day, I wish if there was day release, it would be at KFC.
Yeah, no C3 for you, mate. Back to the A&B.
Maybe not for Mark, but you know, for me,
Straight to KFC.
C3 chief. C3 to KFC. Maybe we can start throwing some buckets over for you.
Tell you what. Yeah, but you know what Mark was saying is exactly right. What we're doing, staying here, is putting you back. You're going back into jail. But what they try and do here is say, oh, you know, a phone counters, a counter, you know what I mean, all that. But really, it doesn't, because things you're in a double. In prison, you're in a single. I'm not sure about other states, but in Melbourne, you're pretty much in a single within a couple of weeks. Is that right, Dave?
Yeah.
You know?
Sydney, Queensland's pretty well won out as far as I'm aware of, but I can tell you now, Sydney's 2, 3, 4 out. Sydney's putrid.
What's New South like, Mark?
Yeah, when I left, so I got out in 2017, and I was lucky that I was in a medical 1-out, so I had to always be in a 1-out. Oh,
yeah, bro, me too, bro.
My 6 years, I was 1 out. Send me the Segra, I don't care, mate. 1 out, 1 out. Just fucking lock me out. 1 out.
Yeah, bro, I
was the spinner.
My last, bro, I can say I was a spinner too, bro. Hey, and proud of it too.
Medical
man.
1 out, don't fucking say no.
100%. So my last year, 2016, they started. There was an influx of prisoners coming in, so they changed all the 1-outs, went to 2-outs, all the 2-outs went to 3-outs, and I think it just went all the way up to 4-outs. Yeah, that was it, bro. So that was in 2017. I don't know how it is now. But man, there was a big uproar about that, You know, like
you remember Grafton, Mark, how old Grafton was, right? They reopened that. I was there when they shut it down. They put us all on the truck at 3 o'clock in the morning and sent us to Silverwater non-stop, the express. So fucking, 10-hour trip. Then they reopened it, and at one stage there's like, the cells, the bigger cells in the corners of the wing, up the top and that, and down the bottom. They were 4 out in them. So, and you can imagine how putrid 4 out in Grafton would be. Like,
and hot too,
That's what I mean. Old convict built style. So.
And you don't get to pick your cellies, do you? You don't get to
fucking way.
Yeah.
But good old medical cells, boys. Yeah, that was me at Victoria, man. I wasn't no spinner, but they just put me in the 1-out.
Come on, fuck it. Don't
getting into altercations.
Spinner.
I was getting to too many altercations, bro. You know what I mean? I was like,
right, tough guy. You're not the spinner. We'll call you the clicker, Mark. We'll put the hand up. We'll be the spinners. He's the clicker.
We'll spinner. Yeah, we'll take that,
bro. Yeah, man. Fuck yeah. I'll look some of the other boys in here, man. So we got Feleti, brother, the Toko Feleti here. So he's been on the show as well, man. We're still in Feleti.
Let's, all right?
Yeah, all good.
You
guys are well.
Coming from Christchurch as well, eh, brother? Have you linked up with Market? You
I'll
guys
get a
both-
link up.
No,
We're gonna
I
link
think
up,
I'm
yeah.
still on the trial period of trying to make it into the that runs down here in Christchurch.
Probationary, still nomming
Hey,
up.
we got to link up, Docs. Got to link up soon.
Yeah, for sure, Docs.
Yeah, so what are you doing over there, Feleti, man? So you're doing the youth work and stuff over there in Christchurch, eh, brother?
Yeah. So yeah, just come down here. Yeah, just continue what I was doing up in Auckland. I've been here like 6 months now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, continuing on with my studies. Never thought I would be back studying after getting a scholarship that I tell you one, third form. But really, I just never went back to school.
Feleti, what's your actual brother? What's your background, if you don't mind me asking? I'm Simo anyway. How are you?
Yeah, that's
sup,
Simo there, brother, over in Queensland.
What's your background? Because I with which Dave has been on, and I'd love to get Joey on actually. But I run a very successful podcast. It's just close to 1 million downloads now, so it's gone. But I thank you.
Done.
I really love the way you just spoke of your passion and what you're doing, and what for me is knowing people's backstory to where they are and how they got to where they are. Like obviously you're giving back to the youth and contributing in a really positive way over there. Can you give, I guess, everybody a bit of a rundown? Give me a rundown, because I think you could be fucking on the clink, bro.
Yeah, sure.
You got a good story of
Rundown
redemption
there.
by the sound of this one.
Yeah.
No, yes.
Well,
You
No, well, so you lived in Melbourne, eh, brother? So you used to ride bikes and that over there in Melbourne, and
Did you and
Yeah,
Joey
yeah.
know each other back in the day, Joe? Did you know?
We're
Feleti
first
from-
cousins.
yeah.
Oh fuck! All right, then. Sorry, guys.
We family.
Simo, actually, I know you were Simo, so I'm not going to call you Brent. I'm going to call you Simo. So Simo, I was the bad influence on him that he followed me to the Hells Angels Nomads.
Oh,
So blame it on me, yes, mate. Yeah.
Blame it on Joey.
Hey, we'll just go there. That's cool. Well, what can I say, mate? I had 1, 2, you had 3.
And I mentioned that to Dave, your background. I said to Dave, I'm sure he come from the LWs, yeah?
I did,
Yeah,
and not big noting, but never was kicked out either. You know what I mean? Of either club. So it's something. I have a lot of respect for some of the boys that are still there. And anyway, you all know the game, man. There's no beef with me. But Feleti, so obviously you were following Cuzzo to hell with the Angels.
Yeah.
just taking a little trip to hell and back.
Fuck, I'll get shot tomorrow for saying that. Listen, big up 81s. That's all. Anyway,
It's all love here, mate. It's all love.
where did that go? And you're obviously a 501 too, are you?
Nah, I was fortunate enough that I came back on my own terms.
Oh, bless. Yeah, sweet. Okay. Cool.
But yeah, I still get the I've been back probably like 3 times just for conferences, like men's conferences in Brisbane. But yeah, every time I've been back, it's been like a 4 or 5 hour wait just in customs.
Customs.
Yeah.
What did you do much time in Australia?
Now there was another thing that I was blessed with. I never got to that point where I'd done time, and I look back at it as a blessing.
Yeah, for sure, brother.
Where
Amen,
it was a wake up call. If just before everything was happening, where raids were happening, for some reason I was always out, or I was down at the shops before.
You were that guy, huh? Just Johnny on the spot, never there.
You know what we say about them guys, Simo?
I'm looking at you, bro. You're your cousin.
Yeah.
Your cousin, bro. I'm just here for the ride.
He's that guy. Hey, who else taught him these things, mate?
Oh, mate, what can I say? Listen, Joey, I've always known Joey to have a good support crew, put it that way, and they're we're always good hitters. It was always a good team, I'm proud that I got to be a part of that team at some stage.
well, how did you guys meet?
None of your fucking business, mate.
Spill the tea, mate. Spill the tea.
Do you fill him in, Simo, how we met?
All right. Well, obviously, I don't want to sound like a dickhead, and I don't want to talk us up and disrespectful to anybody else, and I'm being serious in the States, but we were a part of a bit of an inner crew. Yeah? Bit of an inner team. So obviously, you've got your clubs and what have you, and then you've got your inner circles. And Joey and I were definitely a part of that inner circle. So therefore, obviously, you get to know who's who around the country or internationally, whatever. And that's how it was. And I think the very first time we met, we were going to solve a problem.
Nice way to put it.
It was a very short introductory, and okay, let's go to work.
Yeah, it was.
And we had a pretty good success rate. hence the relationship and respect.
Well, thank God we never done jail earlier.
Well, we did plenty, but just never got caught together.
No, Brett had done a bit of time.
Unfortunately, we've done, I think, between us close to probably fucking 17, 18.
I think between all of us in this chat, I think there's enough convictions for everyone. You know what I mean? There's enough.
Is this classed as consorting? Are we consorting?
Well, we got 110 people watching, so we got enough convictions here for everyone.
Not guilty.
You're not guilty. Like, innocent of everyone, though. Lawyer fucked us, mate. Lawyers, bro.
On honesty, but going back to that, Joey and I, we built a really strong bond and relationship that, a drop of a hat or a phone call, wouldn't matter where we were. We had each other's back, and I love you for that, brother. And I know more needs to be said in reference to certain, depths, but where it's at, and it breaks my heart actually to see you where you are. It really does, because
heartbreaking, brother.
It is, and I remember Joey's kids when they were quite young, and I know the father he was, as well as the clubman and brother, and all around just human. You know what I mean? And that's when I say literally have your back. Well, he walked beside you and take a bullet for you. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. And I'm not pissing in your pocket, bro. That's the man that you are. So it's really knowing that, okay, we all fuck up. You did your time. You've done your jail for whatever charges that you were doing time for. That doesn't make you guilty of trying to restart a life. I mean, it's like me. You probably don't know, but like I got out 2014, and I was sentenced in 2009. Long and short of it all, had 3 years parole after that, completed that, done a lot of good things, and basically tried to just fucking stay out of trouble. I've had two charges since then that I was brought into, which basically was just by circumstance. I was charged with what was going on, and was given a 5-year suspended sentence. So in the meantime, I've had the homicide squad fucking knock on my door trying to harass me for information that I can't give them. And I just, plain and simple, I can't. Then all of a sudden, I get my brief in December and I'm charged with trafficking again.
Wow.
So, I did 6 years for importation. Now they've got me pinged on trafficking. But the funny part about it is it's for CBD oil. 2 bottles of CBD oil.
Bro. I feel for you.
Not even, the purity levels came back. I got that 2 weeks ago. 0.1% out of 70 fucking bottles. So I started a legitimate business, completely public, registered the business, everything, did everything by the book as I believed I was doing. And then, that wonderful squad decided to, because obviously all my phones and everything were off, and it's public knowledge. I don't give a fuck. I'll talk about, that part of it because it's in the police brief. It's going up to a fucking judge. So, and it states in there that they handed it to organised crime. The organised crime had me under surveillance for 2 bottles of CBD oil. Fucking huge. So it's a witch hunt. You know what I mean? And what my point is they don't let you go, Joe. You know what I mean? Like you've done your time. I've done my time. I've done a lot of good things, man. I'm doing a lot of good things. I'm working my fucking ass off. If that's the biggest and the best you're going to get me on is a couple of bottles of CBD, it's pretty fucking putrid. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the trafficking charge is what's going to carry weight. Doesn't matter what it is. It may as well have been a half ounce of Coke or a fucking, who cares what? But instead it was something that was a natural oil. But the charge itself up against me of having importation and served, you know what I mean, a serious charge and time for that is not going to look good. So now they're going to have to fucking drag me through court and chew every dollar I've got and work 3 jobs like I'm doing to fucking pay for lawyers. And, it's just putrid. You aren't given that opportunity either. You know, they're not letting you go. They're not giving you that opportunity to come out. You've gone straight from jail, straight into fucking detention again. Like I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Is
Hey,
that not double jeopardy, bud? Is that like if
In
I
some ways,
understand
it
the
is.
laws under deportation, but how is it not double jeopardy when you've been convicted of a crime, you've served your time, then you've been given your release date, but upon your release date, you're re-locked up as a 501 and being deported indefinitely? Can I say locked up because you don't even have a date that they're going to deport you, do you? You don't.
No.
There's any indication of nothing.
No, there's no date, you know. And like I say, what I tell people is when they do this to you, you're given a life sentence. They've given, and not just myself, your missus, your kids, your parents, you know, the whole family is being given a life sentence. Now, let's say, for example, you get deported to wherever, like Tonga, New Zealand, but your family, they can't afford to fly back and forth, and you never see them again. That's a life sentence. You know, think about birthdays that you've missed. You know, there's christenings, there's weddings, funerals, all these things you cannot attend because a minister, one man said so. It's not right. And that's why I'm saying that we're going to advocate the push to change this law, because the only difference between 501s and an Australian citizen is a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's Australian citizen.
You make a very good point there. You talk about family, Joe. What do we all live for? I'm a better man because of my children, my wife. And I'm sure you men have got people in your life that you've chosen to better your ways for, or to be representation of, i.e. your children or your loved one, whatever it might be. So take that away from a man, lock him down indefinitely. What are you going to get? You're going to get a fucking beast that's very angry. That, you know, what? Then you get charged again. Next minute, like I've seen you boys locking down and standing your ground, you know, charged with rioting. What? You know, like what do they want? You talk about rehabilitation, but yet you're not given that opportunity to even better yourself because of the situation you're in.
Well, that's why I say when things turn riotous, when riotous behaviour happens in detention centres, it's because you're exactly what you said. You're creating a monster. You're ripping us away from our families. You know, when you fight for your family, like everyone knows, mate, at the end of the day, for your family, there's nothing you wouldn't do for your family.
No, you go to the ends of the earth.
That's right, and that's what's happening. So, but they put it down as, oh, they're criminals. We aren't criminals. You know what I mean? All right, yes, we serve time in that, but hey, we're free men. And that's the difference. They're locking up free men. Where else in the world, besides Nazi Germany, that's the only other place that ever locked up free people? We're free men being locked up in Australia.
Well, hey, Joey, what's the go of the kids in that being held in that Broadmeadows detention centre? So there are children in that being held there as well, isn't there? Families and...
Hey?
Is that a
there
different
section?
Children as well, and wives and kids as well.
That's a different section, eh?
That's a different section, which is they're refugees. And you know, there's a refugee that's been here for 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. 19 years last year. This year is his 20th year.
A refugee, not a criminal.
Refugee.
No,
Not
never
a
committed a crime in
not
the
even
country.
criminal, no.
Remember, refugees, they never served time. They never done any criminal. There was no criminal acts. They were just.
What country is he from, Joey?
I'm not sure what country he's from. Yeah, I'm not really sure. But no terrorists, nothing like that linked to him. You know what I mean? Just Australia playing God with people's lives. And when I say Australia, I don't mean Australia
with this sort of stuff.
I mean, sorry.
What's happening over in NZ with this sort of stuff? Is it similar in New Zealand in any
No,
ways,
there's
Joe
no-
or Dave
they
or
don't
any
have-
of the boys?
They don't have deportation centres or anything like that, as far as I know. Do they, Mark? Or
Yeah, I'm not too sure, bro.
yeah,
They
I don't
do
know
have-
about that. Not many people get deported from New Zealand. They
not
did do
many,
it.
yeah. So this. Sorry to interrupt, guys, but the stats from New
No.
Zealand, I've been told, is like 3 in the last, I don't know, 10 years or maybe more.
Wow.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. But it's a big money grab, isn't it, Joey? You know what I mean? Like, just to hold that guy in there for 20 years, you're talking millions on millions of dollars that they've gotten from that. You know what I mean? And that's all
on
it comes
Nauru,
down to.
When the ones on Nauru cost for each a refugee on Nauru, it's 4.3 million a year.
What? A
That's
year?
The stats come out. It's 4.3 million a year per individual on Nauru. So, I mean, for the Billawilla family, I don't know if anyone knows about the Billawilla family.
Was that Indian family that the two young
the
kids?
Sri Lankan family.
Yeah,
It cost
the community
30
got
million.
behind and helped.
they were working in the community. I think she was a nurse and he was working at some factory there, but full on productive. Kids were, going to daycare and whatnot. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Peter Dutton sends his goons there, ABF, Australian Border Force. They come and grab him late at night. But then they put him on Christmas Island. For a few months, it cost $30 million. I posted it on my Facebook page. I'll share it with you. $30 million for 4 people on Christmas Island for a few months.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's a money grab.
We don't talk about this. You don't hear about it.
Yeah, no, but that's what it's all
We hear
about.
hang on, we hear about all the millions
about.
and millions they're finding because of this anon, and everybody's stashes are coming undone, and they're finding tons and tons and tons of drugs and millions and millions and millions of cash. And while they're spending it back on surveillance and back into policing and that, yet we're wasting millions, and we've got so many issues in this country that we could better ourselves about humanity-wise. And I don't get it. I don't get it. The dollar value, it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit. All right. Well, how about you, Mark? Sorry to move forward, guys, but I know that Mark's on limited time. But well, how are you going, Mark? Man, you're working on a podcast or something, ain't you?
Yeah, just
Or did I spill the tea there?
I've had my second daughter, bro, so time's really limited. So I can always push back the Road to Redemption podcast. But yeah, I've got a few projects in line. I'm going to create an app, Road to Redemption app, where it's going to help our brothers and our youth when they get out of prison. When you get out of prison, it's hard to navigate, where's this? How do I get in touch with this? How do I get in touch with wins, benefits, this and that? So this app is going to help our brothers and sisters when they do get out, reintegrating back into the community, make that transition a little bit smoother so they can help them navigate. So my company, Southbase, is helping me fund that. So I'm sit down with some developers, and I'm just like storyboarding at the moment. But also the trust is going through the process of registering Road to Redemption Trust. So our main purpose is to help our brothers reintegrate back into the community, youth as well. I help them with the financial side of things, accommodation, and just help get them upskill them and get qualifications and stuff like that. So, they have more options than getting out and falling back into old habits. So that's sort of where I'm at with Road to Redemption. And
that's awesome, brother. That's awesome.
This is in New Zealand?
Yeah. So Mark was from Sydney. Yeah, so Mark lived in Sydney. He done time over there, and then got.
I know his head. I've seen him around the track before.
Well, Mark here. Mark, how rare it is, brother, for deportees to actually be able to come right over here, brother. I mean, it's realistically, if they're coming back here with no family and that, like I tell people off the bat, like if you're coming back here with no family and that, man, be prepared to like really dial in, man, like because it's not going to be easy, brother.
100%. And you and probably Miles, there's only a handful of boys I know that have come back, been deported, and haven't gone back into jail. I know boys that have come back and they're just going in and out. But for me and Dave and Miles, we're just, we can only plant the seeds, we can only show the way, and it's up to our brothers if they want to take it and take it on board. But that's the game we're at, putting in the hard yards for our brothers, and hopefully they do decide to make that change, because change comes within. You can't, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
What about you,
Dave? Sorry, you guys on that, and I asked this question because we've talked about this on my podcast, Dave, when we had our interview. But do you find that more 501s are going back, and like you say, instead of having that support and transitioning, they're going back into gang life or continuing gang life? And getting right into that reoffending? That is pretty much what's happening.
Yeah, I mean,
Mark, sorry, shut up, man. I'm talking, Mark.
Fuck you. Listen to you. Can't aerate.
I was asking Mark, bro. I want to know. I know what your answer is.
100%.
I love you, brother.
Most of the boys that do come back, they don't have that structure. They don't have family, like they were saying. They don't have that support. These things that I had my missus come over. She had the house ready. She had a car. She had savings. But most of our boys are coming over. No money, no support. So what do they do, bro? They just fall back into old traps. The boys already set up whatever gang they're gonna affiliate with themselves with. There's cash there. There's a brotherhood there. You know, it's a familiar sort of territory. You know, instead of going and doing the hard yards, like I went down the hard route where it's go and work for agency, go and get a job. I'm in my 4th year of my carpentry apprenticeship, but it was hard, bro. I wanted to fall back into old traps. It took me a couple of years to really decide, nah, I'm gonna go straight, and I can't have my foot in this, you know, camp and then try to go straight as well, because we all know that doesn't work. So I had to make a decision after 2 years from getting out. Nah, I don't want that life. I'm gonna do it the hard way. I'm gonna put in the hard work. But it's tough, man. It's tough for most of our brothers getting deported. It's the reality. It's really challenging, for our brothers and sisters.
How many are getting sent over? Do we know, Joey, a week? Is there a number or an indication of how many are getting sent back to New Zealand, for example, back to, you know?
There would be a statistic, but I know the stats here in Melbourne. 40 come from prison every month. Yeah, 40 a month. I think that's what they told.
That's a lot.
I think I was saying something like that. I better double check that.
40,
something like that.
480 inmates.
Well,
put into
all up
detention
there's about
every year.
1,500, I think. All up there's about 1,500 detainees. So, yeah, there's about 1,500. They have charter flights that fly out to the UK, India. There's a guy here going to Afghanistan. I think Afghanistan, I'm pretty sure, Iran, one of them. Yeah.
Is there an average time that most people stay there, or is every case different? It could be years, could be months, could be weeks. Give us an indication of how it works.
Every case is different. In your case, there's no such thing as, like criminal charges, there's parity. You know, you can use someone's case and go, you know. Here they say they can use it. Like I've had lawyers say we can look at it, but we don't really use them. You know what I mean? Each case is individually done. One of the biggest things here, and I want to ask Mark about this, you know, like suicides. Here, guys have tried to commit suicide in front of us. How are people coping over there, Mark, Dave, about, you know, that have been deported? Is there any suicides that you know of?
Yeah, there's some that I know of up north, and that they don't really release the suicide statistics in this country. But I'll tell you this, it's sky high. The suicide rate in this country, it's off its chops. Like when I was up aside from the deportation thing, when I was up north in Kiri, a little town, I come across a nurse. The night before, 3 teenagers had killed themselves in one night. This is a small little town up north.
3.
This will never hit the news, though. You know what I mean? Like the statistics will never come out, but that was just in this one little town's hospital. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's.
In regards
I knew a deportee that had killed himself, and he went up north and just couldn't adapt. Did a little bit of time here as well, and just ended up, unfortunately, taking his own life. What have you heard, Mark?
Not anything to do with any 501s. I haven't really heard, but just the number of men I know from just being in Christchurch alone, bro. I've only been here for nearly 5 years, and it's real common to hear guys that I've like interacted and met just, you know, lose the battle. I could count on both hands, bro, like the amount of suicides that have been in the last 5 years from people that I've met here or know of, mutual friends. So
it's crazy high.
What
about Feleti with the youth? Because you're working with the youth, aren't you?
Yeah. Man, suicide rates with youth are just going up, especially the area that I work in. Just before I came down, so I was helping our youth try and get onto the youth benefits, and I had one guy, one boy, who came to try and jump on the benefit, and it's real messed up and on how youth under 18 get passed, you know, as eligible to get the benefit. Because they have to have like some sort of breakdown assessment, and most of the time when you've got wins and stuff coming and talking to the parents, most of the time the parents are just like, nah, everything's all good, but really deep down, like everything at home's not going how they're saying it is. And yeah, I've had a couple of young people who have taken their life because they've come back and it's been declined their benefit for them to move out, and it's just been they've just got it's been declined. There's no family breakdown. Everything's all good at home. And for them, they're just like, oh, you know what? If that's not going to happen, I can't move out. I'm not going to do this anymore.
Is it because they feel so trapped in their environment within their own home that it is so volatile, dangerous, drug affected, alcohol affected?
Yeah, it's all those things. Because when they come to us, it's pretty much their last resort. Like, this is my last go at it. I'm gonna try and see if this person can help me for me to move out. And then when they get that, sorry, bro, like you've been declined, and they're trying to tell you, but they don't want their family to get in trouble. Like there's that fear that's in them, not wanting to let them know what's going on at home, but really wanting to open up and just say, this is what's happening at home. Like, can you help me? Can you save me from this?
Yeah. It's a lot of shame involved too, isn't there? From, that, and then obviously the cover-ups.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, how
Which
was
is
it, man,
just
working in that
bullshit.
space for Liddy? Is it a tough space to work in, brother?
It's gone frozen, eh?
Yeah.
Or is it frozen
Gone
up
frozen.
a bit? Well, what about you, Mark? You're doing a bit of work with the youth, eh, brother, in those camps, is it? Or?
Yeah. So I go into Te Punua Youth Justice Centre down here in Christchurch, and I do the LSV limited service volunteer out here at Burnham Camp. I just go in there in the last 6 weeks and just share a bit of my journey. But going in doing mentoring, hopefully I've messaged the programs guy last week, and hopefully can get back into the Youth Justice Centre soon. And yeah, bro, it's bro. When my first experience going into the Youth Justice Centre, bro, I was shaking, bro. I had like so much, like the programs guy was showing me around because it's just the whole setup's just like prison, bro. Like, went around the fishbowl and then I went into all the pods, bro. I was shaking, like. He goes,
Bit of
bro.
anxiety, eh?
Yeah, bro. He goes, are you sweet? I was like, bro, like, look at me. I'm shaking. I'm sweating. But it was kind of like reminding me of being back in prison, thinking, bro, are they gonna let me out? And that's the sort of thought I had. But going in there and talking to these young kids, bro, it fills my heart, eh?
Fuck, that would have been awesome, man.
Mark, did you ever come across Joey Kwan?
Joey Kwan, yes, he's doing
Confit.
Yes, bro. Yes, I did some time with Joey.
You would have, because
yes.
and why I bring that up is because he's an amazing man like yourself, obviously doing wonderful things and getting involved. And what they've done here in Australia, in New South Wales, is they've created a program that they implement and take into the centres, and they get to go into these youth centres, and they do a training program, a mentoring program, and I think it's just amazing. Like, I couldn't think of anything else better than giving back to the young people. I always wanted to, work in youth work like you and like Joey and get involved in that. But unfortunately, I keep getting a knock on the door every couple of years, and it's just another charge that puts me back another 5 or 7 years that I can't do it, which is frustrating because I've done all the quals, and I have the lived experience, and I would love to give back. You must get a lot of fulfillment out of that.
100%. I tell them when I go doing my presentation, I said I'm working towards my carpentry apprenticeship, that working towards that qualification, but my heart gets so like full when I go and do my presentations and see that sort of light bulb moment. I'm not there to change everyone, I'm just there to plant some seeds and show them what I've done to get to the position where I'm at, and they can do it too, and just to see them come up and interact, and we can relate because I've been in prison, they can kind of relate to me, so automatically, the sort of walls are broken down, and you can kind of talk to them like a normal human being, give them some real reality checks, but only try to lead the way. But
it's all about planting seeds, isn't it, brother?
100%,
it's all about just trying to be a light for them when they need it, And I feel for you what you were saying before, man. It does take a bit after getting deported, eh? Like, that was like me, I sort of had 1 foot in, 1 foot out, sort of trying to do both sort of thing, because
how long?
but then it takes about 2 years, you know what I mean, to fully just realize you just gotta step fully away, man. You know what I mean? If you really want to be a light, you gotta sort of just really step away and still got a lot of people I talk to in there, you know, but
Yeah,
other than that, it's
100%.
just, you know. Well, hey, I'll let Jeffrey in. So Jeffrey Morgan's in the building. I'll let him jump in.
Another
Big
brother.
Jeff's in the building.
My
How's it
brother.
going, Jeff?
Hey, lads. All right.
Right.
Yeah, good, brother. Good. How's it going?
Yeah, I was listening. It worked out well that you didn't let me in because I was
Yeah, I seen
actually
you in the car. Yeah.
I was in a getaway car. No, I was joking.
Yeah.
I was
Another
joking.
Hey, you
Porsche,
left the
brother.
balaclava there. You left the
Another
balaclava.
Porsche,
You
another
can still see
Porsche.
it.
I came back from a basketball game here in
It's all right. You
Sydney.
don't have to
And,
make excuses.
oh, no,
Bro. We
I
believe
was
you.
heading
We're
home and I was
straight,
just listening to your amazing stories and some sad stories in amongst that as well. You know, people stuck in these detention centres for so long after you've
Oh
done
well,
your
Jeff,
sentence.
this is Mark and Joey here, brother. If you didn't,
How are you, Marky,
know.
Joey? How are you?
Yeah.
Respect,
Yeah.
brothers.
Jeffrey
And it
Morgan.
just
Yeah, I remember
blows
seeing
me
you on
away.
NITV. Oh, no,
Nah.
sorry, continue. Yeah, no, I always used to see you when I was inside, brother, and it's awesome having
Oh.
you on, man.
And
Yeah.
that, you
Hey,
know,
Dave,
same thing. I think
wanna see
Marky
him
is talking
outside.
about it just then, you know, planting a seed for the boys to see that something's possible. And,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
to be able to have a TV show on and when I came home, that's just mind blowing.
Yeah,
You know? And
man.
I was similar to Marky, like I came home and I had some structure behind myself, but same thing, even then, the ingrained habits and rituals that we had as individuals, man, to this day, the awareness of, you know, what's around yourself is unbelievable compared to other people. And like those habits aren't just going to leave. And I think that's the biggest thing. People don't realize how hard that is to change and shift for ourselves. And even with the change, something I spoke about the other day is then you start to realize, you know, where you're at and how much you've actually put into yourself. And big respect to everybody that's obviously put that change into themselves and created that change. And, you know, putting that out to the universe for other people to believe and achieve anything they want within their lives. So it's a hard journey, man. It's been I've been out in 11 years now. For everyone that knows.
Well done, brother. Well done.
Yeah, 11 years and served over, mate, I don't even know, over 15 in and out, robbing banks and doing stuff of that nature. So give context to people. And it took a long time to step away. But same thing, I just stepped away and, mate, I'm happy with who I am and where I'm at. And,
well, you're a ninja now as well, aren't you? You're a ninja now. Yeah, you can add that to the rank.
Dave, seriously, this man here.
Can't say yay or nay to that. I was just
listen. How you were a ninja, bro, when we were running around back in the Listen, mate. He could leap towers, buildings, doors, walls. The coppers couldn't catch him. Morgs would be off, mate. That'd be it. You had no chance. If you were coeys with him, you were gone. You had every little chance. He was gone, 100%. You would never catch him.
Gone.
See ya. He was a ninja.
Just to clarify something to a conversation I heard before, this madman here, Brenny, he's absolutely mad as a cut snake. Let's clarify that.
I mean,
This Insta page, man. I swear, follow his Instagram page.
I am talking, mate. He has done amazing things in his journey as well. And mate, for yourself, Brenny, you know, from me to you, brother, big respect because you were deep, and I know how deep, and we caught up during those times, and it's just
100%. That's
crazy.
A beautiful thing.
And to go from there to here, like it's an amazing journey. Just be mindful, mate. And this is for everybody that watches this. You're always going to have someone that knocks on your door and tries to, you know, wreck your party. But knowing who you are, knowing the direction you're headed, just keep going down that road, Brenny, and don't get caught up in it because the more you focus on the problem, the more you cause yourself pain. Just focus on a solution, brother. Keep doing what you're doing, the good stuff, and you'll see more happiness, brother. And I wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah, I love you, bro. And I appreciate that. You know, like our history goes back well in, 20, 25 plus years, so.
Never saw you. Never saw you once. Don't know what you're talking about.
I was that white fella that used to walk down Everly Street and never get robbed.
That on this.
I used to come down.
This, I wasn't with Brent.
I used to be able to go in the empties and go from empty to empty, and everyone would be just looking at him. I was the only white fella on Everly Street cutting through them at that stage. But no, look, I mean, it means the world, and thank you. And it's hard, Like I fulfill my days, one being a father and working 3 jobs these days, there are other options, and do you choose them? Well, no thanks. We've been there, done that. I'm not prepared to do my children's life, wrong by making those choices, especially when we all have conscious decisions in our lives now. We're not kids anymore. We're grown men, and each man at this discussion has an amazing story of redemption. And, like my prayers right now, brother Joey, we're all sitting here breathing in the fresh air, and I was eating, drinking a Ribena, puffing on a vape, whatever. And Joe, here you are, and I can see, the bunks and the walls, and I can't help it. And once again, mate, my heart bleeds for you. And I know you don't want sympathy. It's not sympathy. It's just, stay strong, because, fuck, got to see you outside of those four walls, man. It's a feeling you deserve, and it's a redemption story that you're not that man. You're still Joey, but you're not that same man that you were many years ago. It's not good.
I mean, what's the mood like in there at the moment, Joey? How's the boys holding up in there?
Well, a few boys, due to what happened with that riot that we had here not long ago.
That was the one that was in the newspaper and that, eh?
Yeah, a few boys have decided to sign. They go, we've had enough. But I tell them, look, they say to me, why are you still here? Look, all I know is God gave me a voice. I'm going to voice my opinion. I'm going to voice my, and that's me. That's why I'm saying I'm going to pump it out there about how let's try and change this law. If I can get enough lawyers on board to make a difference, surely enough we can change this law. Basically, like I said at the start, we're Aussies being kicked out of Australia, each and every one of us. I mean, like I say to people, if I was ever going to represent a country, it'd be Australia. I come here at 3 months old, and I'm sure Dave and Mark, you feel the same. Mate, you know what I mean? Like besides looking like Islanders and born in New Zealand or Tonga, Australia is the country where we hold our roots. For me, anyway.
You're talking, Joey, at your age, you spent your life by, what was that, 6 months?
You're born at 3 months old. My parents
3 months old. So, okay. So the technicality is you were born overseas.
That's the technicality.
That's it. That is plain and simple. Not by choice. You didn't come here and get a citizenship, which you've then lost because of your bad character or whatever. You were basically, you were 3 months old, brought to a country to better the life of your siblings and your parents and what have you, I'm sure. How's that not fucking Australian?
But because, so what happens is the criminal offence and the history of where we've been, that just gives weight to the ministers, and the minister tells everyone, I'm just taking out the trash. He doesn't say, we're getting rid of human beings, we're getting rid of Aussies. He's saying, I'm taking out the trash. He's calling everyone in detention centres that it's trash, we're trash. And the thing is, Australian public, they don't see what's really going on. I mean, these places, the problem. They hide these places. We're in an army barracks. We're at the back of an army barracks. Do you know what I mean?
What's the capacity there, bro, in Broadmeadows detention?
There's 400. I've been told there's 400 here.
But it's all in wings and that, eh?
It's all in wings.
So it's basically a jail, isn't it?
100%.
It's exactly what our jails look like, our modern jails, I should say, the way that they've designed them now. I noticed in that sit down or whatever the protest that there was a yard, little bench seat and what have you. There was fences. It looked like you could have been anywhere. Parklea, Silverwater, Cessnock.
Yeah, it's that's how it is. And the toilets are the
steel Brascos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
steel Brascos with the sink.
Do you have like a buy-up system as well, or do you have? How does that work? For to be able to support yourself, can you? If you have money, or are you on the barra basically at all times?
You're given $35, but other places around Australia they're giving $60 a week, as far as I know, and that's just for whatever you need, maybe toiletries or I mean a couple
that's
of
like that's a cake of soap, shampoo, and underarm deodorant at $35. That's fucking gone.
For the other 25, so to get it to 60 points, you can't get more than 60 points, which is $60. You have to go to activities, and each activity you go to, you get $2 for it. That's crazy. So if you don't go to any activities, you don't get that extra 25. But me, I don't smoke, so I just Yeah. Plus, I spend most of my days on Zooms and all those sort of things, trying to.
Yeah, how you keeping busy in there, brother? You've been doing a bit, eh? Doing the online stuff while you're in there?
Yeah, a lot of online stuff. Plus, I'm part of a church group as well, which is pretty strong. And motorcycle ministry, Christian Disciples, as you know, motorcycle ministry, and they help us out too. And there are people out there that actually ring me, and they donate things. For example, money, clothing, and all that. And I just ask the boys here.
Can you send clothing? Can we send clothing into you?
You can send clothing and all that sort of stuff. But
can you get in contact with me, inbox me? I don't want to be rude. What are you, 3-4 XL now, Joey?
He's been kind. He's been kind.
I've dropped 27 kilos, bro. I've got a wardrobe with tags and shit on it, man. I'll send you away. Like, it's just that simple.
I'm nearly 200 kilos, brother.
All right, I can't help you.
My clothes comes from the US. My son, he has to get order from the US.
Send him a couple of your Gants, Brent.
Can I actually get you a pair of shoes and send them over? Can I get a new pair of Asics or something for you?
Send them your old Lacoste and that. Send them a couple Gants over there.
Turns out you got plenty of money, mate. Look, send the phone over. Drop off.
That's sponsored by Jeff Morgan. Don't worry about that. He's the money bags and athlete. I'm just trying to create interest here. Jeff will take over in a second. You say, mate, now I'll budget 500 for you. What do you want?
I was going to say that. I was actually going to say, send us your details, brother, and we'll create something for you, not just with me, but other people as well. And we'll try and get some stuff in there on a regular basis. So you got some good support, man, and at least that side of
if you can get into contact with any immigration lawyers as well, boys, if you know anyone in that sort of a space, Joey, would appreciate that as well. I've just sent you. Did you end up contacting that lawyer that I sent through, brother?
Not yet. Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Joey, how are you getting onto your internet and so on?
Hey, Mark's just about to head off. Much love, brother. Any closing remarks, brother?
I've got to get my beauty sleep, but it was nice to meet you, Simo, Jeffrey, Feleti. We've got to hook up, link up.
For sure. Drop me an inbox.
Joey, I'll be in touch as well. Yeah,
please do.
And thank you, King Dave, for the opportunity to come on the channel.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, this is awesome. We'll book it in again for sure, brothers. For sure.
100%. Have a good night, brothers.
Peace, Mark.
God bless you.
Sweet. Oh well, I'll let the other bro in here, Nikos. So he's also a deportee as well. So let's do Nikos. Oh, your mic's muted, brother. Your mic's muted, brother.
Yo,
yeah, so this is yeah. What's going on, Nikos? Yeah, so this is another deportee. He's another deportee that got
yeah. All right, Nikos.
Evening.
Hey.
Where did you get sent back from again, brother? Where did you do time? Darwin, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was up in Darwin in the Northern Territory. And then I wasn't supposed to go to detention. I signed the papers and everything to come straight back, but they said there was a problem with the paperwork, and I ended up getting sent to Villawood for about a month. And
Yeah, so he's doing a little bit of work with Philippa Payne, isn't it, at the moment? So she's like a deportation lawyer here in New Zealand that's doing a bit, of her, Joey? Philippa Payne? Yeah. Have you spoken to her at all?
We're speaking that, I let her do, I send her all the stuff that goes on in that.
Philippa Payne? Yeah. Have you spoken to her? Oh, there's a bit of an echo, boys. I think
there's a feedback coming. Someone got two apps open. Maybe on a phone and a computer or something.
Might be you, Nikos, because I wasn't doing that before.
It might be me.
Yeah, open it twice, brother.
It's gone now.
Is it all right now?
Yep.
Yeah. All good. Yeah, so Joey, so you've been speaking to Philippa a little bit.
I've spoken to her numerous times, so and I see what she's doing with what is it? The whole of New Zealand. She's gone around the whole of New Zealand, preparing that case to go to. You can fill me in a bit more, Nikos.
Yeah, what was it again, Nikos?
I met up with her last week, and she's going around the country meeting up with boys, just giving them the rundown on a documentary that they're going to be making shortly. And yeah, about the class action and everything, just going around seeing who's keen to tell their story about everything that happened to them and what it was like going through that experience. And yeah, pretty much just everything that all the boys have been through, and just putting it out there for the world to see, I guess. So yeah, it was a good meeting. She's really cool. She's done a lot of work, So as soon as I got to Villawood, I was on the computers, looking at everything I could, and I seen her, and yeah, it was nice to meet up with her, give her a hug and thank her for everything she's done for all the boys.
Nice.
Did you get deported, Nikos, from Australia after that, brother? To where'd you go, brother? Back to.
Yeah, I did. So in 2019 September, I got I left Villawood and got deported back to New Zealand, and yeah, pretty much got on my feet. Got my own little apartment, got a good paying job, and then COVID hit. So it was a crazy time, just getting on my feet and everything, and then something like that happening, and yeah, that's it.
How was the dawn time over there in Northern Territory, brother? How was that?
Oh, it was crazy, Like the weather, relentless. I don't know if anyone's been up there, but
Casuarina?
Not Casuarina, Holtz.
What's the one below, the one where you fly into Darwin? My mate got pinched up there, and I flew straight up and got him a legal team and went and visited him, and it was nothing like you've ever seen. Like even when you go and visit, it's a tin shed roof. It's just got a drink machine with it's putrid.
Yeah, I think that was the old one. A lot of the boys were telling me stories about it. Oh. I think they converted it into a youth prison, and then they built the new one, Holtz, which it was new. It was newer, but apparently it was worse because you couldn't breathe in there. There was just like no wind, no air, all closed off. Looked similar to one of the American prisons, And being up in Darwin with that relentless heat, never dipped below 30 degrees. Little fan, little fan in your room if you're lucky, or if you play up, it gets taken off you, and oh man, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Hey, there's a bit of feedback on your mic too there. Sorry, Nikos. It's rustling a little bit. I think that's your one, is it? Yeah, it's just rustling a bit. You can pick up on it. Sorry about that.
Yeah, budget headphones.
Where are you now, Nikos? Where actually are you in New Zealand now? Or?
Yeah, I'm in New Zealand. I'm in the Bay of Plenty. In the Bay of Plenty. Just working, renovating houses and stuff like that. And yeah, it's going good. It was really difficult the first year and a half. Hated being back in New Zealand, but it is what it is. I guess we're all sort of stuck everywhere we are at the moment, all separated from friends and family. But yeah, just making the best out of a situation, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to be home. It's beautiful to be back with family. And I don't know if I would have came back if that didn't happen to me. So, in a way, sometimes what we want and what we need are two different things.
Yeah, amen to that, brother.
Yep. Yeah, amen to that, brother. Well, hey, Jeff, how was it going with the whole warrior training and all of that, man? I've been seeing you on Instagram. It's looking good, brother.
I'm going all right. I'm doing well. It's been relentless. I don't know if you can see that. It's been relentless on that, doing chin-ups and all that stuff in the yard. That sort of sets you up for it, right? That's easy money stuff. So it's been good, and I'd say to anybody that watches the show, for anything, put yourself out there. And my biggest advice to anybody that tries out for any TV show, whether it's SAS work, so a bit of context, is a couple of different things possibly coming up. Tried out for SAS Australia, Amazing Race, Ninja Warrior. And one thing in the last couple of years when I tried out, I kept hiding the past, and they do their checks anyway. So this year I was like, here's who I am, and they come out and said, would you tell your story? And I was like, well, I want to show people that you can achieve anything you want to achieve. So any brothers or even sisters out there that have been through custody, tell them straight up and just be real about your story and say, here's who I was, here's who I am now. And you're more than likely going to get on the show. If you hide it, they'll find it and they'll just kick you off straight away. So that would be the biggest tip. And it teaches you a life lesson, I suppose. Just be real about it. I've probably held back over the last 11 years on a lot of stuff, and this year I intend to write a book about the whole journey and just be real about who I was and where I've been. And I think, seeing Spanion, I don't know if any of the boys have seen Spanion. He's been telling a lot of his story, and great, to see him doing well as well. And anyone else out there doing stuff, Wes Watson in America as an example, different people getting out there and telling it. It inspires others, and to come from the depth of, as you all know, how hard that actually was. And, like a question I'd ask everyone in here, what is one thing you still carry from in there, the behavior or habit that you still have? For me, I spoke about it earlier, it was the awareness of, man, I could be walking down the street and I see things left, right, and centre, because that's just how you sort of built as a behaviour. And that's 11 years after sort of giving up that lifestyle. So
what I
believe
find
in
for
yourselves.
me,
Go again.
I find for me, and this is something that I'm glad you asked that, because it fucks with my head. I'm happy. Like when I come home, I see my kids, see my wife, and to this day, I still go sit in my room.
Yeah.
It's like
Interesting.
it's my, I don't know whether you call it your comfort zone, your safe place, whatever it is. It's an autopilot. Even when I'm consciously trying to go right instead of left,
Yep.
I will always go left and just go lay on my bed. When you're getting locked in, you kick back, and then it takes me about an hour to go, oh shit, I need to get out with the family.
Absolutely.
It's embedded. It's just something that I struggle to break.
It's everyone's probably totally different, right? We've all got these different sort of habits or rituals that we sort of carry onwards.
You guys still cut caps? You guys still cut laps in the lounge and without realizing, or what?
My son walks around like this now.
Oh, no.
And all like this.
Up and down. No, I haven't done that for a while. I put a little shortcut in that. Like, as soon as my head even thinks about doing a lap while my dog's standing there doing a lap up and down, I'm like, hell no. I'm not doing it. It's just gotten out of it. I find that, and that's another tip for everyone watching, get out of whatever habit you got within your head, put a line in the sand, and for yourself, Simo, when you go to lay down, as the example, go and lay down with the family on the lounge and grab your kid or something, have a conversation. Just change that behaviour up here on a neurological level, and that's what we do as business now. Order habits and rituals, and we work with schools, juvenile justice centres, corrective service. Corporate's massive for us, corporate wellness. And Aboriginal or communities, I could say, but Aboriginal communities here in Australia, and I travel around the country doing it. So if I can do it, anyone can do it, man. And the amount of money that goes into mental health and well-being, suicide prevention, all of the above, every one of you in this window has that skill to really change and get out of ingrained habits that are destructive and negative towards yourself, and create positive change. And at a corporate level, trust me, if you put together a sound structure around how you can teach that, I can guarantee some people will buy into it. So more than you probably think that you actually would, because you've got that lived experience from a deep level. So that would be a big tip for everyone on the business level, go down that path. And there's not enough of us, trust me. Even if all 6 of us did the same thing in Sydney, there still wouldn't be enough of us.
Have you got any tips for Doomben or Caulfield in the next few days?
I never. I do. Don't bet.
I work too hard for my money to get given away like that. I just and you know what? Finding, this is interesting again. Just my mind, as you know, works 100 miles an hour. But you saying about neuro habits, and I'm talking about my habit about the coming into the house and going straight in. But yet all week I live out of a semi-trailer. I sleep in a truck. I'm in a truck. It's like basically being in a cell. I'm on the road and I'm happy.
Yeah, it looks awesome, man. It looks cool.
It may, but what I'm saying is it's still that surrounding by that square room. Does that make sense in what I'm saying? And is that something that maybe I should look at? Because I am so comfortable in that, or it is habitual that I'm okay with being locked within that.
Absolutely. Even even for yourself, Joey, my biggest tip when I was in there, I did, as I said, over 15 years in and out, longer than 15 years, but in general, I changed every day. So I'd still do the chin-ups and whatever else, but different times, different things, walked a different way, trained a different way, whatever it was, I was constantly changing things up, cooked in a different spot just to mess things up on a level where I felt that I wasn't getting too comfortable or too ingrained with the behavior that then followed me once I came home. And that's how I sort of stayed as sort of, I don't know, as sane and civil, so that when I came out, I was as normal as I possibly could be. I literally changed it up. And for yourself, Joe, I'd do the same, brother. I know it's hard because you're going through it. That would be just a beat up mentally constantly. But right here, brother, constantly change stuff up as much as you can. And as I said, if we can support you on that journey, brother, let us know. Even if it leaves stuff details with Davey, and we'll get put it on a page that we've got as well. Or not me personally, but especially in that, I know a lot of people help out on that page, and we'll try and get you some stuff there, man. So make it as comfy as possible.
I think so. Definitely,
Yeah,
Joey.
absolutely.
I did ask before we got cut off. I wanted to know about the usage of your phone and your Wi-Fi. I mean, it costs money, man. I'm sure we're all paying for fucking Telstra bills or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
How are you? Because that is your only out, isn't it? So how do we continue that to be able to make it easier for you, like Jeff just said? And how does it work?
I'm pretty good. I'm fortunate that I've got a lot of kids. You know, as if you don't know, I've got 11 children. 11. And the older ones, they all work, so they help me out, you know. And I've got a lot of support too from friends and family outside. But what I try and do is I try and help people in here, because there's people in here that have absolutely nothing.
Champion.
You know, so what I need, look, I'll tell you what we need here, guys. They don't have phones. You know what I mean? You know yourself, Dave, Nikos, from being here. A lot of guys don't have phones. You know, but cheap phones. You know, like just. So I tell people, get me a couple of cheap phones, send them in, and if I can help people.
Throwaways, bruh.
Basically, yeah.
You remember you used to do that, eh? You'd make a call, throw it in the fucking river, go to the next servo, buy another one, open it, another chip. Yeah, I'm up the road, I've got to fuck that one off. You can't do that these days. They're gone. But
that's what they call paranoid. Paranoid to the max, eh?
Yeah, I guess, well, it saved our asses a lot of time. Anyway, we'll move forward from that one. In saying that, but Joe, that's great. And to be honest with you, I'm sure I can find a secondhand phone here that I can, send in that's probably bugged, but you can use it. No, but I'm being honest. It would have been one that's been given back to me by the organised crime or something that just said, here,
throw them off the scene.
The point of the matter is there's a phone there and I don't care. And if it helps somebody in there.
Yeah, if there's phones, look,
all jokes aside, how do they then maintain that ability to use the phone once they're donated? Because if they've got nothing and they're struggling, how can we continue them to be able to have that availability?
So with that $35 that you get, or the $60, you can go and buy credit from the canteen, or the detention centre gives us phone cards. While coronavirus is around, you get a phone card, a $40 phone card every fortnight. So guys pretty much stretch it out. It doesn't really $40 gets you something like 12 gig. Get you 12 gigs.
What they used to charge us for 7 minutes, $5.60 a call or something, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, Joey. Yep. Joey, what centre are you in at the moment, brother?
I'm in Mitre, in Melbourne, Broadmeadows.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
It's sad that they act the way that they do, and unfortunately treat human lives. But time, man, time is one of the most valuable things on this planet. And for the government just to stuff people around, it just shows, where we're at as a country. And
to the people calling the shots, it's all about the dollar sign. It's all money becomes before life.
The last 2 years has shown that as well. And they don't care. And it's sad about, there's all talk about caring, but no doubt. Especially, I know one thing with seeing, but growing up the way we did, and no doubt for yourselves, probably seen a lot of the behaviours, and you're like, this is just wrong. They're, best criminal acts ever, and I think it just transfers over to where you're currently at, Joey. It's insane that, you know, people, I heard someone before when I was listening to this, has been there 20 years, I think you're saying.
There's a guy that's been here 20 years. He came as a refugee. You think that they would... Yeah, go on, Jeff.
Send him somewhere, like send him back home by now, or, you know, that's people get less for murder, honestly. No joke.
Has he got a family that, you know, have been waiting 20 years for him? Any children that you know of? Do you know any more about him, Joey?
All I know, he's been here 20 years. He can't go back to the country he came from, and I'm not sure. I'll find out more which country that is. But he's bounced around all the detention centres, been to all of them. You know,
that's cruel and inhumane treatment, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know? And let's not forget that these people haven't done anything other than leave their country looking for a better place to make a life. You know what I mean? They haven't committed any crimes. It's ridiculous.
Well, you even got children there, brother. You know what I mean? Like, but so they're obviously in a different section, huh?
They're in a different section, you know.
That's crazy. Someone asked, how does immigration differ from prisoners for those listeners who don't know?
Yeah, good question.
Well, what they do, so immigration, what they do here is they try and break you down. So in prison, in Melbourne, in Victoria, if you're in prison and you ask for things, they'll go about a way and go try and help you out as soon as they can, yeah? Here, it's all lies. If you ask for this and that, like, it's even asking for toiletries here, they knock you back. You know what I mean?
What? They have to give you your that's in jail. If you imagine humanitarian,
they knocked you back, there'd be a riot. You know what I mean? And that's
if you got told to put a bluey in to ask for some toiletries, you'd probably hit the screw over the head with the bluey and tell him he's a flipping dick.
But that's what kicked it off here. That's what kicked it off here, because we'd ask for toiletries, like toilet paper and that, and they said, no, we're not giving you anything until you go back to your cells, you know, like go back to sleep in your cells and that. But we were doing a peaceful protest because we tried to get visits over the Christmas and New Year period, and it just turned pear-shaped from there. You know, in prison you get cutlery, you get proper cutlery in Victoria. And in the detention centre, they give you like plastic knives and fork, spoons, paper cups, all those sort of things. Like they treat you like, you know, like, yeah.
How do the screws differ, brother, from in prison?
Well, the other thing too is I'm here in a detention centre and I look at these screws, and these screws can't even speak proper English. They probably don't even hold an Australian citizenship. They're probably here on a work visa. That too is a big, you know, thing. You know what I mean? Like these guys, they've probably just been here. Like some of them have only been 2-3 years in the country. They work here. So when you're talking to them, asking them the things, they've got no idea what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Do they lock you in, Joey? Do you have like musters and then you have, you know, like your lunchtime lock-ins, or do you just get let out at the same time every morning?
There's 2 musters, one at about 6:30, 7 o'clock where they come around, but you can be in anywhere, yeah?
So you don't get locked into a wing at night or a cell?
You don't get locked in.
It's just a yard, a perimeter lock.
Yeah.
Like a chook pen sort of thing?
Yeah, like a chook pen sort of thing, you know? But a lot of things here you ask for, they treat 501s like refugees. I don't know if you found that, Nikos, like that, but that's how it is here. They talk down at you. But I pull them up. I call them out on, hey, watch how you speak to me. Hey, I've probably been here longer than you, you know what I mean? I give it to them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was crazy. One of the Serco workers, actually, on the day I was leaving, he was him and another worker were congratulating each other on getting their visas, and they were from Pakistan.
See that?
You know, it was mind blowing. It's like I'm getting removed from people who, you know,
that was at Villawood, eh?
Yeah, Villawood.
Well, how was that recruitment video for Serco that you sent me, Joey?
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah, I watched a little bit. Can you break it down for us?
Well, they apparently to work for Serco, you get $5,000 up straight up. If you come and get a job,
what, protection money?
They give you $5,000 straight up. Does anyone know of any other jobs that you go to and they give you $5,000 straight up? I don't know any other jobs that you go to, and I
might sign up tomorrow and then quit next week.
Just cut the week after. Just get it out of the way.
And while I'm there, I'll leave the gate open for you, Joey.
Yeah.
Man.
Look, I know from other Serco workers that are here that no longer work here, and they've said the same thing. It's just a big money thing, scam. They're trained to treat us like crap. They're trained to break us.
Do they walk around like screws though? Do they walk around as, you know, if you're for example, you're at Silverwater or the Bay, you know what I mean? You got your circle, you got your screws, they're locking gates, unlocking gates, access to here, access to there. You know, is it like that, or
It's
is it
like
just
that.
okay? They do your muster, they lock the padlocks, walk away and leave you, and the only way you get contact is by hitting the buzzer or something.
We get escorted to lunch. We get escorted to dinner. Get escorted to medical. Here is like prison. You know what I mean? You get escorted everywhere. I'm surprised sometimes they don't escort us to the toilet. You know what I mean? That's how it is. It's full on.
Well, hey Joey, you know how in jail how we got like the toggies and like the SCSG and all of that. So did they got that in there as well? Like who conduct like the ramps and all of that sort of shit?
We've got ERT.
The ERT.
The emergency response team.
That's the one. Which is just They just
Step to the back of your cell. Step to the back of your cell. Put your hands on your head. Back up your cell.
Yeah. You got 5 minutes.
Move.
Or else we are coming in there, helmets and all that crap, batons, shields.
Yeah, but you know, like for example, you have a headache and that, and this is serious. Like you got a headache, and you go and ask them. You know what they tell you? Fill out a form. Everything is request form. Nikos, I don't know what Villawood was like, but here everything is request form. If I'm going to commit suicide, they tell you, hey, go fill out a form so you can see the psych nurse. Yeah, but hey, in the meantime, I'll go hang myself, and then you know what I mean. That's what it's ridiculous.
It sounds as though Villawood is more lax than what you're describing. But I mean, I was only there for a month, so I guess I didn't.
But when were you there, Nikos? When were you there?
2019, September. Yeah,
because
that's current. That's still current.
But in the last year, they really ramped it up, haven't they, Joey? In the detention centres, they've really tightened it up. I heard.
Yeah,
really
they have like different sections, like as in those that are on the 501s versus those that are refugees, or like for yourself, Nikos, maybe you were short term and they put you in a different part to someone that's longer term, or not really.
Yeah. I mean, just the day that it happened and I was going there, like even though I wasn't supposed to go there, just leaving Darwin, I was, man, take me anywhere. You can take me to Africa if you want. Just get me out of this place.
Get me out of the heat, huh?
Yeah, I got there and I was kind of like, oh wow, because I spent a lot of time in mining camps, you know, all through WA and stuff, and I was like, oh, it's like a mining camp, like sweet. What? Got a phone, got a packet of ciggies, and but you know, after a few weeks, like I could see, you know, the evil behind that place and the feeling that was really there. But I guess I was just kind of happy to be able to like see the stars and, you know, just walk around. It's like, hey, this is strange, you know, like kind of open, but like I guess it's probably all changed now. I heard Philippa was telling me that some of the boys the boys on Christmas Island, they're not even allowed plastic cutlery anymore. They're like eating with their hands or eating with whatever they can like make. So they've taken the plastic cutlery off them.
Yeah, it's putrid there at the moment, especially because they just had that riot there not long ago. So fuck the boys.
But going back to that, Dave, you said that riot again, and we talked about this earlier, Joey, as well. Was you're poking the bear, mate? Like, you know, if they could be, from what I'm gathering, even down to your toiletries, be a little bit more human-like and a little bit more compassionate. For you're a deportee, but you're not scum. You're not, you know, you're a human. You deserve to be treated in accordingly. Don't they get it? They've got all these professionals they pay all this fucking big money to. Can't they work out how to simplify the tension within these places? You know, we're not asking for the world. Just give us the essentials that we need and give us the assistance that we need, and that's it.
That's a conversation I had too with recently with corrective services and family and community and family services, and that's more to do with juvenile justice, saying that you just treat them so harsh and you poke them that this line, you're not feeding the line, and then you let them out and you expect them to act like, you know, Bambi. I said, you're crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
like you talk about the problem and these people being the problem. You're not going to change them by treating them like shit. You're going to make them even worse, and they're going to come out harder, tougher, and just ready to rock and roll. And that's what's happening on the streets, and it's reflective on what's happening out in Sydney as an example. I see it, and it's just the level of violence has just gone to a whole new level more often than not. I believe in Sydney. I don't know about New Zealand, but that's because they're just getting. Sydney is just absolute versus Melbourne, just because I was in Melbourne as well for 7 years, and that was a total difference. And that's what created the change within me. Did a uni degree there, access to computers, different sort of sources, and that allows you to create huge change. And changing how you treat a person. I said to him, it was a huge difference. And here I was, this kid that had these ingrained habits, or that turned into an adult, ingrained destructive, negative, violent habits and rituals around criminality that changed by just treating me normal in Melbourne and giving us a crack. And that, as long as we keep going down that path, people are just crazy there. I said to them, you don't expect a different outcome. And I said, but personally, I think you want that rolling rotation of,
They need
as I
it
said
to keep
before,
them
Dave,
employed.
about the money and so forth.
Money.
Of
Yep.
that,
Yeah.
rather than looking at restorative justice and how we can sort of create better human beings. They're just not. I said, you're not in the game of creating better human beings. That's going to be left to people like us that do it on the back end of things when they come out of jail, because you just don't care, especially in Sydney.
Mm.
Reality.
There's a comment here about how can we contact the UN? They're part of the problem, eh?
That's the thing. When you got prisons and you got detention centers, I mean, people are getting paid all around. You know what I mean? You got the workers being paid, lawyers, ombudsmen, human rights. You know what I mean? Like, Joey, like people are getting paid left and right, which is how the system just keeps flowing.
Well, they say that the UN comes here and they get paid off. They come here and
Everyone's getting paid.
The day they come in, they walk out. You know what I mean? Thanks for coming. See you later. They got what they wanted,
If you got millions of dollars coming in from the people that are detained there, people getting paid left and right, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's tough.
Even the industry outside of these places, like sending all these people back to New Zealand, with trauma and rough pasts or whatever, perpetuates more crime, which perpetuates more policing, arming the police, more drugs coming and more everything. It's just non-stop. And if it's run like a company, well, it's all about profits. It's all about profits.
Like here in New Zealand, like at the moment, sorry, Joe, but the crime rate here is sky high, man. I'm telling you, like I just read a report on that not long ago, and it's like on a world standing, if you're talking per capita, New Zealand having only 4 million people, it's way up there with violence, gun crime, even just the amount of gangs that are here. It's through the roof. Suicide rate, even cost of living is sky high here compared to Melbourne. I mean, you're paying double what it costs to live in Auckland to live in Melbourne than it does in Melbourne. You know what I mean? But yet the wages are way lower here in New Zealand. Like $20 an hour jobs you get here in New Zealand. In Australia, you're looking at 30 plus an hour. It's just it's insane.
Hey, you hit something on the head then. Sorry, Brenny. It's really important. People don't realise if a crime happens and there's a victim, that victim might have kids, and if they're not functioning at their best, their kids might suffer, or their partner suffers, their relationships break up. Maybe they have a business that they don't sort of put their time, energy, and effort back into because we impacted them, right? And the government doesn't realise this. There's so many people out there that have been affected by crimes, and I totally understand and respect it, but it has a knock-on flow-on effect, like Nikos said, and people just don't understand that until we start to treat people that go inside as human beings, not as prisoners, just human beings, and affect positive change, that's when you're going to get a good outcome. Otherwise, they'd get out, and I was that kid. I was just better and better each time I went in. I made sure I spoke to everyone to make sure I learned how to turn alarms off. I learned how to do X, Y, or Z to make sure that things went down the way that I wanted it to go down, because I was inbuilt with those behaviours. Soon as, I was well entrenched in Melbourne, a 7-year sentence, treated with dignity about, hey, here's some stuff that will help yourself. You can do a uni degree in here. I was like, what? I'm down. I might as well use my time well. And that would be the biggest. I watched that World's Toughest Prisons, and they did, I think it was Norway or somewhere, and they did a totally different approach in the jails. Yeah. And they went from 70% recidivism. Did you see that one? I think it's 70% recidivism.
They were doing double figures too, these blokes. They were like living, they were like basically A classos, but living in what you would call a really beautiful little communal unit block.
That's the one.
Didn't even look like a cell block. Nothing
kitchen,
really other than the fact they were locked. Yeah, kitchen,
knives,
everything.
The whole lot.
They had a dinner table. They'd sit at.
Big knives and
they were treated so well. Even the murderers had big kitchen knives, because
exactly.
Nobody wanting noodles or anything like that.
Tuna and noodles, no.
Yeah.
Sirena, with a sirena and margarine.
Chili ones are the best. Chili sirena.
That's something I don't miss. What's the food like there, Joe? Is it better than jail, or is it the same sort of stuff in the detention?
Still got the bushels.
Because we cook in jail, we cook. Prisoners cook for prisoners, Here, it's an outside company that cooks. There's no love with the food. It's putrid, but you got to eat it. You know what I mean? So, that's how it is. There's no love with the food. And what I was going to say earlier is, I go to these meetings with the Australian Border Force that run these detention centres, and we put these questions forward. And when everyone else left the building, he said to me, he goes, look, Joey, you ask me this question in 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years, I'll give you the same answer. These joints are designed to break people, get them to sign so you can get out of here. You know what I mean? And that's that's period. That's what these joints are here for. That's why they give us a hard time. That's why they do all, there's no, if you want something, we'll get it for you when we're ready. You know what I mean? Fill out request forms because they want people to sign and leave.
I'm just reading through some of these comments and you can't help it. I mean, I'm not going to give credit or pay attention to it, but there's a lot of support there and a lot of really positive talk. Yeah. And then, you get somebody put something up there that thinks he's Mr. Perfect. And, basically to shut the fuck up, you deserve to be in jail. You do the crime, stop whinging sort of thing. Like, well, we're not talking about people going to jail. And we're talking about people that are stuck in a system that haven't even committed a crime, that are locked up. So to you, buddy, shh, sit down, be quiet.
Fuck with corner.
How do you see the comments? Where do you see the comments?
I've just learned how to do it, and I'm glad I fucking didn't realize.
We get some pretty retarded comments on here.
But you know what I mean? Like here we are having a positive conversation around humanity and allowing people to live. And this is the problem. And that's where I'm going to, the naivety of people. Look at that comment. Like, how can we make change and have supportive community and people understanding what's really going on behind these walls? For Joey, we're talking about from a humanitarian point of view, when you've got imbeciles that just instantly respond with a comment like that. Like it just
the biggest thing too, that you got to remember, someone that obviously, and I mean this in the nicest way, even to the person that made the comment, you might end up in jail yourself. Whether it's something that happens, someone does something to your family and you react. And all of a sudden you're sitting in a jail cell. Some of the blokes have been, I was totally different. I grew up in a rough area as an example, notorious area as an example that I became a byproduct of. But to everyone, out there that has comments of that nature, understand this. We've just spoken about it. Mate, if someone commits a crime and that's the sentence we get, we all served our sentence and we get back out and we get another chance at society, and that should be respected. For those that most of these men in here have changed their lives and had a real crack at life, and that's because people believed in us and people didn't judge on the back end of the sentences that we served for, whatever we served it for. They just said, hey, this is a human being who actually wants to do something great with their life, and they reached out. As long as you treat people, and this is for the person that made that comment, with that regard or that comment, what you're going to find is you're going to have people come out and be absolutely cut snake loose, and you never know, you might be on the end of a stray bullet or something of that nature. And I say this because, you know, people do, they just go, let's treat people that particular way and let's judge people that particular way, and you'll keep pushing them down a path because they won't have that belief that they have the support of the community. In the end, honestly, that's how we create positive change. So whoever made that comment, jump on, and actually you might have the solution that one of the brothers that needs, or sisters that have got themselves in trouble, can actually see. Some kids grow up without any parents. Some kids grow up with both parents on drugs, committing crimes. What do you reckon that kid's chances are of ending up in jail? I know that that kid's going to end up in jail, but you sit there, whoever made that comment, and I want to answer that for you. Why don't you sit there and actually create a solution so maybe that kid can see a different pathway that they've never seen before? If you're such, of that good nature, just reach out and join a group and volunteer for 5 minutes and just work with one child, maybe in a youth, a juvenile justice centre, and actually show them some sort of part of great change because they've never seen it before. That's how I'd answer that question or comment from that person.
Yep.
Sorry,
preach that one, brother. That was absolutely
Amen,
beautifully put. Amen to that.
You focus on the problem, you only get pain. You focus on a solution, you always find happiness. Think about that, whoever wrote that comment.
And just another thing I just wanted to add, what people are not realising either is that 501s, 90% of them have come to Australia as minors, you know what I mean? They've gone through schooling here. I've said it earlier. They've, primary school, high school, worked here, got children here, and people forget. So really, we're all products of this Australian society, 501s, and that's what they tend to forget, So just something I wanted to throw in there.
For sure. And just another thing, everybody thinks that everyone who gets locked up or goes away to prison is a criminal or did something wrong when, I guess most of us know that's not the case. You get in there and you realize that there's guys in there who, they might be serving time for a family member or a nephew or something like that, and not everything's black and white. And there's a lot of good blokes, a lot of good normal blokes,
Yeah,
there is. And you find
people
if you stay out of the politics and do your own jail, you will meet plenty of good people that can, like I know in Jeff's story, and I won't go in because it's your journey, but there was a mentor for you, Now that wasn't someone that was on the outside; it was also someone from the inside, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
And that person's information to you and his support of education was beyond value. Well, look at you today, and that all started from that man who was in jail.
And that was exactly what Brenny said, and what I just spoke about with that comment. I had someone who was a straighty 180, misappropriated funds, so he committed a crime, but he'd grown up a normal way of life, I suppose, and sitting down and talking with him in the yard every single day and just picking up, change the language to change the outcome. That became one of my modules that we actually teach in the workshops, and the pig Latin talk, the I shoulda, coulda, woulda type talk and slang. I got rid of all of that, and that allowed me to go in and talk at corporate events or run corporate mental health and wellbeing programs. If I hadn't had that person there, it wouldn't have gone down. And I'm forever grateful for that person now. And I suppose he probably saw it as of value of having me to make sure he didn't get hassled there. But at the same time, I valued every bit of information he gave me as well. Someone asked, who's the best at table tennis?
Yeah, I'm going to have to put my hand up there. I'm going to have to put my hand up there. Oh, we got to have a game, Jeff. When you come
Jeff's the most competitive all round perfect. He is so anal and precise about any sport or competition. He'll just get on TV and just show everybody what it's all about.
Yeah,
Mr. Ninja.
Charles, what you got, brother?
I'm glad you guys can read the yeah, I've got no idea how you read this stuff.
Are you on full screen, Joey? Because if you are, minimize your thing.
He's on the laptop.
I was on full screen.
He's on the laptop there.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm probably better off not to touch anything, eh?
Actually, hang on, Joey. You got a couple of Sheilas here that are asking about you.
Oh,
are
really?
you single, Joey?
Well,
are you single? Or can they write you love letters and send in Nikos?
Yeah, send some love letters, mate. You can be the mailman, can't you?
Drop him a line. Drop Joey a line. Hey, there was actually a mention before of starting a GoFundMe page, bro. Would that be something you're interested in, Joey? We can share that around for you if you want. Like some sort of GoFundMe.
That's what I was thinking. Definitely.
Yeah, let me speak to a few more lawyers and see what the go is with what we're trying to do. Because what we're trying to do basically is knock this law, either get rid of this law or change it, obviously. But the best thing to do is to knock this law on the head, because what they do is, like I say, when you go to AAT, so for a 501 or 116, it's a no-win situation. You can't win. How can you win when you go to the minister? He refers to the law. So the minister's got more power than the High Court. The High Court judge, going back to rest in peace, Shane Martin, Kiwi. But
yeah.
In his
Did he pass away?
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah, just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I saw him in
the minister changed the law on him the next day. Sorry, Nikos?
Of course they did.
Sorry. I saw him in Mount Maunganui as I was driving past one day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to have a yarn with him one day."
And I feel for that man. He passed away. His children all in Melbourne. Another one been here. Been here most of his life.
He hadn't even been to jail. He hadn't even done any time.
No, never set foot in prison. That's the other thing they're doing. 501s, if you've got a suspended sentence or you're being charged.
Are you kidding me? So no longer is it a period of a serious crime or sentenced. It's now you've got a suspended sentence, which it's classed. They're classing that as a reason, are they?
Yeah,
they really are trying to take out the trash, aren't they, Joey? Gee whiz.
That's Peter Dutton's words. That's
well, he was the next Jack as well. He was a copper. So,
yeah. But like I say, for us 501s, what they've done is they've given us all a life sentence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have, brother. Yeah, they have. I mean, bro, when I got deported back here to New Zealand, man, it was a struggle, man. It was a struggle. Turn to the bottle, man. Turn to alcohol. Luckily, I came right. You know what I mean? But fuck, it was tough there. It was tough. So I respect you guys what you're doing, man, for sure. Any way we can help, brother.
No, brother,
Well,
Everyone sounds like a robot to me. Is that for everybody? Is that just me?
No, you sound
like good to me. Jeffrey.
No, you don't even have to do that. It actually does that. I wanted to ask everybody that's in here. Obviously, Joey's still there, but the brothers that are out now, what is one tip you would give to other brothers or sisters that are coming out of custody or just come out of custody, or maybe been out a period of time, you're still struggling? What would be one tip that you'd pass on to everyone listening tonight to help? And this tip for everybody, everything in life is transferable. So you don't have to come out of prison. Maybe you're struggling, but what would one tip be? Joey, even maybe from the past, I'm not sure, but what was one tip that really helped you create change? Like, when maybe struggles were hitting, obstacles were coming up in front of yourself, how'd you keep going? Why didn't you go back in? What was one thing you did for yourself? And before, I might jump out and jump back in because it's a bit sort of how are you going on my end, and just let you all answer that to the rest of the audience, if you don't mind.
Well, I mean, for me, brother, Nice. For me, man, I'm sure Joey and Feleti here can agree as well, man, is to pray on it. You know what I mean? Definitely seek that higher power. You know what I mean? He's there. You know what I mean? He's watching and he's always listening. You know, the God, the Creator, goes by many names. The Source. You know what I mean? But goes by many names. But I honestly believe that he transformed me. You know what I mean? He was the major turning point in my life, was going back and finding the Lord, finding God. For me, that was really the
Amen,
turning
brother.
point. So
Powerful.
I tell people, I'm not really necessarily big on the religious stuff, like religion per se. Like, I do believe religion is man-made, but as far as the Creator goes, as far as the source of the light, I'm a big believer that ask Him for guidance, seek Him, and you'll find Him for sure. But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I have to agree with Brother David there in regards to me. It was my faith in Jesus Christ. I ran a ministry in prison with a couple of other Pacific Islanders and a guy who's got his own family of faith ministry now. And I had support from a church group outside. And this is what I mentioned to people. If you're looking for support from a church, go find a church group that aren't money-based. I'm part of a church group that's called All Nations Christian Fellowship. They are not money-based. You go there, you don't collect money, you don't do anything with money. Everything, you know what I mean? Like, so no one's there to rip anyone. They're there all for the one purpose of serving God. You know, and also I'm a part of the Christian Disciple Motorcycle Ministry. And the same thing there. Nothing is to do with money. No one's there to rip anyone. And on the religion side of things, that's why I don't participate in a lot of other churches, because a lot of other churches is all about, you know, a lot of other faiths, I should say, is all about money, you know. But that was for me. What saved me, I believe, is Jesus Christ saved me. I found him in Barwon Slot when I was in Barwon. And then I took that and I read the Bible. And every time I asked God, you know, what's going on in my life, I need your help, I'd read a scripture and it would give me my answer. And I took that and I go, I've got to run with this. Now I know what God wants me to do. He wants me to help people. And exactly what you were saying earlier, Jeff, it doesn't matter what you do in life. You could be a Serco guard. You could be a copper. But you know what? Be good, be kind, and show love to people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's the difference.
And
That's the difference.
love it.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And
Anyone else?
So thanks.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think from my point of view, breaking the cycle, as I like to put it, became more self-belief. I mean, you believe in yourself when you're going to do an earn. You believe in yourself when you're about to pump a banky. You believe in yourself when you're getting chased that you're going to get away. But what about getting that belief in yourself to go and apply for a job? Getting that belief in yourself to be confident enough to talk and own who you are in your past, going deep within yourself and any traumas or things that, you know, have kept you on that path for so many, many years, going deep, which, like, for me, I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. I was sexually abused for several years as a young person. So, you know, going deep and finding that and bringing it out and then having that self-belief to back yourself, because they were the core problems for me, obviously suppressing and having those anger issues and the rebellious attitude. Why was I doing that? And did I believe in myself? No, I believed in what I was doing, but I didn't back myself. When I come home after the last 6-year sentence, I backed myself, you know, and that's how I rode across Australia too, you know, was backing yourself, believing in yourself. And I turned around and said, I'm going to ride a push bike with the first in the world to go from east to west across Australia. I did it. You know, and I guess ever since then I've just had that self-belief. And you know, when we talk about belief, definitely belief in the Lord above, because we all turn to him, no matter what time, what religion, who you believe in. Like Dave was saying, there's not one person here who's never sat down, put their hands into their head and gone, please God, help me.
Exactly, brother.
So, you know, like when you put that in perspective, amen to what you said, brothers. But, you know, for me also the power of self-belief.
Yeah. What about you, Feleti?
Yeah. I agree with, you know, what you guys are all sharing. And you know, for me, I guess being brought up in, you know, in an environment where what you see is what you just pretty much, you know, follow. And so for me to make that change, I had to change the people who I surrounded myself with. Because I found even though I lived that sort of life, I was still surrounding myself that were with boys that were still doing the same thing but weren't part of that sort of lifestyle. And so, you know, when you're trying to change and you hit you know, life challenges, and you're trying to go to them and saying, man, you know, I've stuffed up here, you know, what should we do? And they're like, you know, don't worry about it, here, let's have a drink, or, you know, you want some of these drugs to jump on. And then it's just becomes a cycle where you're not moving away from what you're trying to change from. And so that's where I had to just cut myself completely, even though there was boys that I grew up with that I wanted to surround myself like, man, these are my boys. I had to ask myself, like, man, are these guys, you know, adding life to my current situation, or am I just staying put in this and just going around in circles? And so I had to ask myself, you know, I had to just ask myself, man, what am I doing with my life? Do I want to move forward, or do I want to just continue going around in circles? And I had to just cut them all off, you know, and just ask God, like, what do I need to do? And so that was my that's why I moved to New Zealand, because I had to just move away from the whole, you know, surrounding myself with the boys and just start fresh. I actually moved to New Zealand 1 week after my wedding.
Wow.
So yeah. So
That
I
was
was
back
just
in
like,
Melbourne, eh?
yeah. So that was back in 2016. So I was like, man, if I'm gonna start myself new, I've got to start fresh. And so I came here. I linked up, you know, fellowship with some brothers around here. You know, started to find myself. Yeah. Well, you know, this year, you know, things are starting. I'm starting to find myself. You know, starting to go. You know, things are starting to go on track. And you know, this is probably the first time people are, you know, that do know me are hearing this. But you know, I'm a survivor of sexual abuse, and that was something that I just had a conversation with my brother, who I haven't spoken to in the last year and a half or so, and it was just random. You know, things happen for a reason, eh? Where it was just a random, you know, message request in Messenger that come through, saying, "Hey, sup, doko?" And you're like, oh shucks, what's going on here? And it was from that conversation where he was the first person that in my family that I got to open up and talk about that sexual abuse that happened when we were younger. You know, where you think someone that is meant to be there protecting you as an older family member is doing the complete opposite.
Crazy.
Brother, big ups, man. It took me
big ups,
35
big
years
ups,
to open
brother.
up about my abuse. And it's funny, you know, it's not funny, but the coincidence, my younger brother, I won't go into too much detail, but, you know, 4 years younger than me, and he was being molested and sexually abused by the same perpetrator. And the things that, you know, he would say, he couldn't, it had to have happened. It's as simple as that, you know, because obviously I knew what I knew and we'd never talked about it. And when, you know, we don't see it, like I've seen him for the first time the other day in almost a year. That's unfortunate, but it's just a relationship, you know, we're very distant. So
yeah,
I know how hard it is, especially when you know, other family members around you and you realize that it's happening to so many of you, you know.
Yeah, and I guess for so long, you know, you have that inside you where you don't want to share it. You're like, oh man, what are my cousins or what are my boys gonna think? You know, if I open up about this. But you know, I just praise God, and I thank God for giving me the strength and guidance and you know, just the right time. You know, the right time to share these things, and I can see that a lot of that holding on to it, that past trauma built up a lot of anger where when I was in school, you know, where teachers are like, you know, this guy's playing up, you know, this guy's going to the detention office, he's not doing anything, he snaps too quick.
Yeah, but what's the real reasons? No one,
exactly.
you know, and
no one's willing to help you.
Yeah. Well, I remember telling someone about, well, it happened to be my father at the time, who was, you know, a different person than me he is today. But I told him I was being, you know, basically raped by the two brothers, the neighbours, over a period of time. And he would get on the charge with their uncles and sit around drinking all night. So, you know, for me to say that was just you can't say that. And then the next minute I got backhanded, lifted clean up off the ground, 4 foot and fucking gone. You know, flew through the air. I was a kid reaching out, trying to say, this is what's happening to me. And that's the response. So for me, it was from that day onwards, you know, 8, 9 years of age, no one's going to listen. I don't care. And that's where it started, of rebel, violence, just everything you can imagine to buck the system, because the system didn't protect me. No one wanted to hear from that boy. You're talking shit, you're lying, whack, whack. You know, like you're being beaten again, as well as forced to commit sexual acts. You know, it's hard. And it's not until you, I guess, find that inner strength of speaking out about it. For me, I come out of jail, you know, I knew I had to better myself. You know, I spent 17 years in bike clubs at the top of the, you know, the chain, so to speak, being a soldier. But was I just a little boy scared in a set of colours? Maybe so. You know, protecting me, protecting those that I cared about, my brothers. You know, no one's going to fuck. But at the end of the day, it was just a little boy. And when that boy was able to come out and speak up, I lost all that. I didn't lose to the point where I can't be that person. I just lost that weight. I took that backpack off. I put it down and walked away from it. And as you said, you know, from that, when you finally realize, to me, it was like, I really don't care what people think of me. I don't care if I'm judged. If it's seen as a weakness, I can't carry this weight any longer. This is not my burden to hold. Releasing that was probably one of the most powerful turning points in my life. Just becoming a better human.
The old, and we spoke about that on your podcast. I always say we all carry an invisible backpack, and what you carry around will weigh you down or lift you up. And I choose to get, you know, obviously lift myself up. But biggest tip on the back end of both the brothers, Feleti and Brenny, big ups to, you know, just it's on the other person that come out and was, you know, it has. If someone else wants to judge you within your circle, then maybe you want to have a look at who's within your circle. You've spoken about that yourself, lady. Make sure you surround yourself with people that lift you up in a situation like that. And anyone that judges you, maybe same thing. We can maybe help them see a different side to it and empower them to better knowledge around how you can support someone rather than sit there in judgment of someone else's actions within you know, on yourselves.
I think too, Feleti. If you could, sorry to cut over you there, Morgs, but I just wanted to ask with Feleti, I know for me now, like here we are talking openly as men to a platform that, you know, is quite big. It's a lot of strangers, who knows? But for me, it's like there's no more shame about it. Are you that now? Like, are you at that point when we're happy to discuss and talk about it? It's happened. There's no shame on me for it. Therefore, I'm able to freely acknowledge and speak about it. And try and help others, you know, become aware of it. I work with survivors of institutional abuse as well. So,
yeah, well, when I was on the you know, with Dave on the podcast, I still hadn't opened up to anyone about it, and so I felt like I had to wait for the right time, and that right time was, you know, to speak openly about it was once I spoke with my brother and we were talking about that, because even him, you know, saying, oh, you know, there was weird stuff, you know, when we were growing up. And we never spoke about this ever growing up. Yeah. This was the first time. I'm 28 now, you know, and this was happening when we were like 4 or 5 growing up. Yeah. And so now when I talk about it, that's why I feel like there's no more of that invisible weight backpack on me anymore. Like I just praise God, you know, God's renewed me now. So I'm just like, man, brother. This was I want to share it. So there's brothers that are out there that are suffering from the same stuff that are not, you know, willing to open up about it. Man, just reach out. You know, there are people out there that are going through the same thing. And, you know, if I can share this, you know, tonight, and with you too, Brent, where, you know, other brothers that are or sisters that are watching this are like, man, if these guys have been through it and they're speaking up openly about it, you know what, I want to reach out and share my past stuff that I've been through and maybe it might lift off from them where they now are free to leave that backpack behind and continue on a new season through their life.
I think it's very powerful. And as I said, I work with an organization called the Voice of a Survivor. And it's, as a survivor, hearing others share their story and traumas it's very hard and triggering, but also very rewarding that someone is speaking up. Someone's entrusted you to be a listener, to allow them to open up about this trauma, and we never had that, did we? Like for me, I tried that once when I was a kid, and then it took me another 30 years before I ever had the strength to stand up and go, I have been forced to suck dick. My ass has been fingered. I've been raped. Like, it's things that we would never, ever mention and say, but that's what took place. Do you know what I mean? And that's okay. You're not a dog for giving someone up that raped you. People that have this misconception that, they've got to write a statement against this bloke or that woman. Do you know what? You're not writing a statement against somebody. You're actually stopping somebody from being a fucking perpetrator and deserves to be completely I don't want to get into the depths of the pain and suffering, but just it's you're not a dog. You're not giving someone up by writing down that person has done that to you. You're saving your life, you're saving your soul, and you're hopefully stopping somebody else going through the same thing, if not already, that are experiencing it. And I think it's very powerful to use your voice, the voice of a survivor. It's as simple as that. Extremely powerful.
Yeah, big shout out to Voice of Survivor with Russell Manser there as well. Go check them out. It's voiceofasurvivor.org, .org.com. Definitely, fam. Go check out that. Survivors of institutional abuse. If you have suffered those sort of abuses, definitely go check them out for sure. I mean, Feleti, with the sort of youth that you're working with, brother, is abuse quite common, or is it easy for them to speak on that sort of stuff, or?
You can see majority of my youth that I work with all Māori Pasifika, they're all Māori Polynesians. And you can see, there's some sort of abuse, whether it's physical abuse, verbal abuse, but there's, man, just seeing some of the youth that come through and just the way they are when you talk to them, it takes. This is the thing with the system here, when you're working with youth, they expect you to change these youth with, click of the fingers. And some of the youth that I work with, it takes at least 2-3 weeks before they start opening up to you. Yeah. And by those 2-3 weeks, the system expects you to already change. They should already be changed by then.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, going back quickly, sorry to interrupt on that sort of line of questioning. Just a tip for everyone back on one thing that, I got everyone to answer the question, one thing that, help create change for yourselves or stay out. And for me, one thing I thought about this whilst I was in jail. I was like, how much money do you make in jail, right? Obviously, some people are making money still while they're in jail. But from the jail itself, $60, I think it was, right? That was the limit in New South. I can't remember. I think Melbourne was more. Joey, you were there. David, you were there. So you might sort of.
I think it's like $28 a month or something.
Yeah. So like whatever you're making, right? As the example, say in Sydney it was $60 a week you could get, right? I was making 60. If I have $60 in my pocket at the end of the week, a roof over my head, warm clothes on my body, and a good bed, then I'm happy, man. And not having somebody to tell me what to do. And that was my mentality when I came out. And each week, even if I had less than that, as long as I was free, that was my mentality. And that created a better reality on the back end of that for myself. So that would be a tip from, to everybody out there. I'd rather sit outside with nothing than sit inside being told what to do, get locked in at 3:30 and all of the above for, the next X amount of years. And especially if you've got the opportunity, look at the brothers that have been through some hard yards, going through those detention centres on the back end of jail. And if you've got that opportunity and you are playing on that line, you're going to end up in custody and you're going to end up going through that detention centre and all the stress, heartache, trauma, pain that goes with it. So do yourself a favor, find a better way to life by tapping into how much you make this week in jail, and then how much you can actually make outside. And if you can have that same amount of money, honestly, better life. And that changes this, because you look at things differently. Then that's what I did.
Yep.
Gentlemen, I'm going to get out of my young fella's room for now. I've been in here a couple of hours, and it's in no way showing any disrespect. So I want to just take a quick moment to thank all your listeners. I've read through some of the comments. I can't comment back, but I can say it. I thank you all for your support. And Feleti and I, you know, speaking up about our abuse, I've just noticed some really positivity around that. So guys, if we can help you at all, if you have been in any way, shape or form through institutional abuse, get my details. You can get me on the Clink on Instagram, Brent Simpson on Facebook. Dave, he can hook it all up. Joey, from my point of view, I love you, brother. Always to the grave, my man. And please, can you send me some personal details, please, Dave, whatever, just to make it happen. Feleti, honor to meet you, brother. Please keep in touch. Brother Jeff Morgan, mate, always, it's family. Love you, bro. Peace out, guys. Thank you to all listeners, and I appreciate being a guest on this show.
Appreciate your time, brother. Take care.
Thank you.
Take care.
Ciao.
I might just jump in on that and head off to Davey. And thanks for sharing your story, brother. Mate, I'd love to hook up with any of you in any way, shape, or form.
I'll share our details on Insta. I'll share us.
For sure, brother. And if I can help Feleti in any way, Joey, same thing, brother. Pass on your details. And honestly, mate, we'll do our best out here. And not only myself, but other people. I'll put it into a page and even create a GoFundMe or something. And if that helps you with lawyer fees or something of that nature, brother, to really put up a good fight for violence, I'd love to help you out, bro. Just really quickly, there was a comment below. I just jumped in. Spanian, he was a younger. Someone asked, did I know him? I've never met him, to be straight out and honest. Not that I remember. Someone just asked a question, and I wish him all the best. He's doing great things. And as I said before, for those that have missed that, go out and share your story, because he's a great example of owning yourself. Like, that's the biggest thing. A lot of us get shame around, the actions that we've taken. If you are on the true path to change, you have no shame in who you are. And Feleti just shared his story before, man, and that was super powerful. He's got no shame in what someone else has had, or even the actions you take as an individual. Just move forward by taking full ownership, accountability, responsibility. And if someone wants to judge you, that's on them. How you respond to them is the awareness you have within yourself and who you are and what you want out of your life. So I'll leave you all on that note. I look forward to connecting with you all. And Davey, thanks for having that space to have a conversation with the brothers, and love what you're doing. Feleti, keep doing what you're doing, brother. Joey, I wish you all the best, and we'll do our best to support you. Davey, love what you're doing, brother. Keep doing it.
Like you, my brother. Much love, bro.
Much love, boys.
Much love. Thank you, Jeff.
Take care.
Man,
I guess we'll all finish up on that, eh? And
closing remarks. Any closing remarks?
Well, for me, I just want people to understand, man. You know what? Bad things happen to everyone. You know what I mean? No one's immune to bad things, but it's how you deal with it is what makes the difference. You know what I mean? Stand up and hey, there's support out there for whatever you've been through. And in regards to Letty, it's the first time I've heard of it, and it's a shock when you hear these things. But Let's, I love you, and I'm glad you're dealing with it, and especially with Simo. What happened with Simo, all these things. And I think today was a beautiful, absolutely honoured to be on the Felon Show, Dave.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful time we've shared, brother.
Much love to what you do, and I just encourage people to keep praying, man. Trust in God and put God first in your life.
Yeah, 100%, and He'll direct your path, isn't that right, Feleti?
Much love to
that's
you
it.
all.
Like the saying goes, hey, if there's things that come up, things can look good from far, but it's far from good.
Yeah, 100%, brother, 100%. Or any more closing remarks there, my brother, Matoko?
Nah, look, that's it. Like I say, trust in God, put God first, man, and keep praying for each other. Don't hey, be kind to one another. Spread the love. There's enough haters in this world.
Yeah, that's right, my doko.
Right.
Any
Thank
closing
you,
remarks?
Dave.
Yeah, no, much love, my brother. All right, peace out, Joey.
All right, I'm out of
All
here.
right.
Love you,
Any,
docs.
any
right.
closing remarks, Feleti? Anything else you wanted to share, my brother?
Hey, just quickly, if anyone here in New Zealand's got a job that doesn't require you the full vaccine, let me know.
Yeah, let me know too. Yeah, no, true that. Well, how is things going in that space at work, brother?
Oh man, you know what? You get the full vaccine passport, and then come into the new year, and then you get hit with you need the booster now.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
docs. I know.
and
I
so
know.
yeah, well, I've already got my thoughts around that, to come in, because they said that I think it's from the March 1st. You need to have
Yeah,
the booster shot.
yeah.
But yeah, I've got my vaccine passport, and I'm like, man, it doesn't expire till June 1st.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
no,
like,
I
man,
know.
how can you put a passport here that's got an expiry date, and now you guys are saying that if you don't get the booster, what's with the vaccine passport?
Yeah, I
So
know,
it's like,
docs.
yeah,
I
man,
know. I thought
if
I
there's
could
any
go on
jobs out
about
there,
this. Well, hey, yeah, well, anyone watch you, man. If there's any jobs out there where you don't need that extra jab, I'll leave Feleti his info in the
yeah.
description. I mean,
Nah.
man, Docs, I could speak about that stuff all day, but I think we won't.
Next time we'll be doing the live, we've got the boosters, and we'll be like, it's fine.
Might be doing the robot, brother. Might be doing the robot. All right, Doko. Well, any closing remarks other than that, my brother?
Nah, just just love and blessings to everyone that tuned in.
Yeah.
I know this is the start. It won't be the last one. And so yeah, if there's any people that you know of that have heard or listened in and tuned in, and you thought that's pretty mean to hear that sort of stuff, and it's helped you in some sort of way, just subscribe to the film show, because there's a lot of gold that gets dropped in on this podcast, man.
Oh, thank you, my Doko. Thank you, man. I appreciate you jumping on that episode as well, man. It means a lot. How far we've come, hey,
Thanks,
Docs.
Docs. Yeah, I
All
think
right.
it's come a long way. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate your support, my brother. All right, man. Well, we'll talk soon anyway, Docs, and I'll let you know if
Good
we'll
as,
do
Docs.
this again, man.
Yeah, for sure. Much
All
love,
right,
man.
peace out, Doko. Peace out, brother. All right, fam. That's the Felon Show wrapped all up in that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely, we'll be doing this again. Got a few other projects in the works here on the show as well. Couple docos that I'm working on. God willing, I will be working on those proper docos where I'll be going around and showing you guys different places here in New Zealand, ghettos, different neighborhoods and that. I'll take you guys around. So looking forward to it. So yeah, some new projects in the works. Just have to see what's going on. Like Feleti said, all this booster stuff and all of that. I haven't gotten the jab, but I don't have any problem with anyone that does have the jab. But we just all gotta stay together and not let it divide us. Don't let it divide us, the people, and just stay together, fam. Spread the love, like Joey said. Be kind to one another. Keep us in prayer if you can. And yeah, this is the Felon Show. That's it. So much love, much light. Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate everyone that jumps on and all of that. It means the world. It means the world. Come a long way on the show. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll get some more guests on. We'll do this again. Got some new projects in the pipeline. Yeah. In regards to some of the other later videos I've done, I have spoken a bit about the truth and the jab and protests and things like that. But at the end of the day, to me, I haven't gotten the jab, but to me, it doesn't matter if you have or you haven't, you know what I mean? Just don't let it divide us. Don't let it make you hate one another. If you have had the jab, if you haven't, just stay together, fam. People are losing their jobs, you know, people are losing their livelihoods, and you know, we're all in this together, fam. So have a heart, and just don't let them divide us, you know, with all these rules and regulations and all of that. Much love, much light. Keep the world in prayer, and yeah, this is the Fallon Show. Peace out. Like you.